working citizens of the United States of America. This is a message from an...
Cheers and salutations. My name is Kit Cabello. I am the host of Chicago Corner.
What is the charge? Eating a meal? A succulent Chinese meal? See that chap over there? Get your hand off my penis! Gentlemen, this is Democracy Manifest.
What a fucking bitch, am I right?
It's Halloween, it's Halloween, it's time for scares, it's time for screams. It's Halloween, it's Halloween. The ghost will spook, the spooks will scare. Why even Dracula will be there. It's time for games, it's time for fun. Not for just one, but for everyone. The jack-o'-lanterns are all lit up. All the dummies are made and stuff. By just looking you will see it's this time of year again. It's Halloween, it's Halloween, it's Halloween, it's Halloween. Cindy the Clown!
Cheers and salutations, everyone. I'm Kit Cabello, and I am taking over tonight's episode of Chicago Corner. I want to welcome you all to tonight's show. We've got a lot lined up for you. That is all given the hopes that this beard that I got from the laboratory is cooperative and stays on. First of all, I want to thank you all to the show tonight. I want to go to the live chat. Let's see here. Shout outs to Big Mr. Firebird, Extra Bulla. Let's see here. We've also got Kira Elliott, Kathy Powers 2022. Also, Jimmy Sunderland. Welcome to the chat. Gene, John Kemper, Big Mr. Firebird, Miguel H. And joining us also, I think that's everybody that I can see so far. With that being said, I also want to say at the top of the show here tonight that I was not in San Francisco last week. Although I escaped from the lab prior to that, my activities have been relegated to the Chicagoland area. So, and before we go on with that being said, I want to welcome to the show my venerable co-hosts. I first want to, you know what? I'm going to have to there we go. I had to shave that beard because I just don't think it was working. It was going to stay on for the rest of the show. So first, I want to welcome to our program tonight. I want to welcome Miss Kira Maclone.
Kira? Hello, everybody. Hello. I'm here. I made it from my own laboratory. I am now in my own home studio right now.
I don't think you've got your camera on, Kira.
Apologies.
There you go. You go. Also, I want to welcome to the show this evening. I want to welcome our very, very own Clone Heller.
Oh, hello, everybody. Greetings out there, you cats and kittens. It's Ed Cabello. It's Ed with 2 D's and a T. And I wanna say I'm really happy that we got all these super chats from Roger Meadows. And
yes, Roger Meadows tipped $2 tonight. I also want to give shout outs to Roger Meadows and Gamer for Life, although Gamer for Life isn't here. We do, I want to say, Ed Cabello, you don't have your camera on.
Oh, really? Oh,
no.
Oh, wait, let me turn that thing on.
Okay. There you go. And I want to share with our audience tonight that if you still do not have your Halloween costume, the Kit Clonalatos mask is available in the description below in our show links. It's a very, very handsome mask that you can print out and use this Halloween. Now, with that being said, without further ado, first of all, I want to thank Kira and Ed for their phenomenal work. And I want to welcome to the show our master clone donor, Mr. Guest of the Hour, Kit Cabello.
What are y'all doing out of your goddamn facility? You're ruining it all. You're ruining
You can't take me away. You can't get me. You won't.
They ran out of ice cream and we got bored.
I had no idea that this.
I'm really pissed off that your donor cells are not allowing me to keep my facial. Well, maybe it'll stay on for a little while.
Well, it all depends. There's different variations. There's sometimes the cloning machine makes all these different variations. Sometimes you can't make a 100% kit. You got your girl kits, you got your older kits. Sometimes the kits just don't come out right. And let's folks. Anyone that's paying attention, find the locations of these 3. Bring tranquilizer darts and return them back to the facility ASA. Goddamn P.
I won't go. I won't go. You can't take me. You'll have to kill me first.
Okay, I might consider going if there's pizza. Can we have pizza?
Yeah, of course, of course.
And on occasion, I would like a succulent Chinese meal at least once a month.
Oh, absolutely. But by the way, Jerry Clonalatos, you have got to send me that intro. I would like that clip, or at least tweet it out, because that is a pretty awesome video clip that you just did.
I'll send you the bill. And with that being said, I want to first of all, I want to thank you all for joining us tonight. I'm praying to God I'm able to keep up this routine. I've never acted before. I've never stayed in character. I was practicing a lot. Actually, I'm not in character, just adjusting to my life as one of Kit's clones.
It's getting warm in here. I'm taking the jacket off.
It's a big adjustment. It's a big adjustment. But if anyone can do it.
It's Kit Cabello who can do it. And all of you are me, after all. I would actually like to do one thing, though, because of Halloween, because it's getting close to Halloween.
Yes.
I must say my favorite quote. Do I need a reason, Mr. Cuffer? Mr. Cuffer was right, I do love a good joke, and this is the best joke ever. A joke on the children, but there's a better reason. You don't know the reason or really know much about Halloween. You thought no further than the strange custom of having your children wear masks and go out begging for candy. It was the start of the year of our old Celtic lands, and we'd be waiting in our houses of wattles and clay. The barriers would be down, you see, between the real and the unreal. And the dead might be looking in to sit by our fires of turf. Halloween, the festival of Samhain, the last great one took place 3,000 years ago, and the hills ran red with the blood of animals and children. To us, it was a way of controlling our environment. It's not so different now. It's time again. In the end, we don't decide these things, The planets do. They're in alignment, and it's time again. The world's going to change tonight, my friends. I'm glad you'll be able to watch it. And above all else, people watching, Happy Halloween.
So there you go.
What an asshole.
With that being said, let's go check and see if we got any tips on the Rokfin.
Yes, please share those. While you check that, Ed,
we got zero tips. Zero. No.
Despite all the production values.
No tips on the Rokfin.
Despite staying up all night long. despite staying up all night long and we into the morning hours to prepare that stellar, phenomenal intro. No tips yet on Rokfin. Well, hopefully some people will catch up. In the meantime, we have one more tribute video for our master clone that I'm going to run here at the top of the show, provided by our very, very own Edit Cabello. It seems I was not kidding when we were joking about that breaking news weeks ago of the escaped Brit Cabello that this would be the #1 top-rated Halloween costume in Chicago this year.
Yes, but by the way, folks, again, just remember Brit Cabello. He's trying to stop evil King Charles III. He's kind of gone mad with power. So there we go.
I want to go into our first story here, since it is Halloween and it's all about the costumes. Have you all found out or followed this fantastic, this phenomenal phenomenon on social media right now, which is the Spirit Halloween costume memes that are all over Twitter, all over Facebook? I want to share from NBC News. Then we're going to share some of our favorite Spirit Halloween costumes that you can all enjoy. So, Spirit Halloween, the iconic costume and prop store. Am I doing Kid or am I doing Elwood Blues? I guess it's a little bit of both. Doesn't matter anymore.
Stay in character, Jerry. Stay in character.
Spirit Halloween, the iconic costume and prop store, has inspired a slew of memes related to their costumes. That being said, deemed the fake Spirit Halloween costumes meme by database Know Your Meme, the trend originated in 2019 when the Facebook meme guy Guy Fieri's post-ironic meme vault uploaded a picture of what appeared to be a Guy Fieri costume being sold at a Spirit Halloween, but the image itself was photoshopped to mimic the design of real costume packaging at the retailer. However, the trend reemerged and saw a significant spike in usage during the 2022 Spooktober season when people created humorous costumes such as the Tech Tip Man, according to Know Your Meme. Twitter users are now parodying the knockoff costumes by adding various pop culture icons to Spirit Halloween packaging and slapping on an absurd yet usually accurate name. Padme Amidala and Anakin Skywalker of the Star Wars franchise, for example, became the tragic space couple. By the way, the Empire was right.
Yes, it was correct. Thank you. There's the puppers.
Without further ado, that being said, I want to share some of our favorite Spirit Halloween costume memes. The Stock Trader comes with the ability to pass laws to benefit your stocks, possible insider information. $180 million net worth is not included. Next up.
Well,
the unemployed.
I'll give her a pass. It's okay. I gotta help out somebody, right?
Now, in honor of today's historic acquisition of Twitter by billionaire Elon Musk, here is Elon Musk at Twitter headquarters.
Boom.
Where'd he go? Where'd he go?
This one coming up now is one of my
Looks
real
like he
personal
ghosted.
favorites. I think you're all gonna like this one. The domestic terrorist.
Yeah.
Oh, wait. Better yet, soon to be divorced because her and her hubby are about to be divorced. That's true.
Good to know. Wah, wah, wah. Speaking of divorced, we also have the divorced executive. Next up on our list of popular Spirit Halloween costumes that are flying off the shelves this year, we have the Chirac Gangbanger, Mongoose Bike, Ventra cards, oversized shorts, face tattoo, white t-shirt, Loose squares, white Air Force Ones, fake chain will turn your neck green, and shag.
Nice.
All right. This is a popular one with all the newly divorced women out there. This is the cougar. Ex-husbands, Chardonnay, Xanax, Botox,
Xanax.
little dog, and your son. All included with that packaging.
I date her. I date her.
Yeah, 100%.
She could be my sugar mama. She could be mine.
Hold on. I can fix her.
Take a number, stand in line. Actually, I actually follow her on Twitter. She's known as the Cougar of Comedy, and she's quite a delight. All right, next up, for our members of our Greek audience, we have the Yaya, which is Greek for grandmother. It includes the cane, tupper of Kouroulakia, which are Greek cookies, redacted recipe book, not included, the strength of 2 grown men, and a balcony.
Are they always on the balcony, Jerry?
Yes. Who?
Clonalatos?
Yes.
Yes.
Next up, we have the private equity associate. Includes 9,000 Twitter followers, elitist personality, Rolex data just, business jargon flashcards, 1 pound of premium Colombian cocaine, napkin and pen for quick and dirty analysis, not included pickup lines, mouse, or calculator.
Yeah,
Moving
and
on.
thousands of shorted shares of meme stocks that he's never going to try to cover.
Don't forget Dogecoin.
Next up, we have the professional screenwriter, completed screenplay not included. This is, I can attest, this is my personal favorite. It's the 30-minute phone call. Blows up the entire day. Could have been a 15-minute call. Could have been an email.
Oh.
No, I don't check my email. Fuck that.
Next up, we have the venture capitalist.
Oh,
Included is generic advice, podcast mic and headphones, white sneakers, superhuman subscription, aggressive term sheets, Apple Watch, ramp and Brex cards, not included an actual startup experience, realized gains, newsletter subscribers, and an understanding of income statements below gross profit.
Where's the douche nozzle?
Yeah, right?
Yeah, the douche nozzle. It's got to be there.
That's in the deluxe costume.
Here we have the Twitter writer. Very popular one this year. I'm sure it'll continue to be popular with Elon Musk's takeover of Twitter. It includes coffee memes, hot takes, bad writing advice, not included a completed manuscript.
All right.
All right. We are finally kind of coming to the end of our selections here. So stand by. Here's another fun one.
Oh.
This is the influencer from an upper class background.
There is this awesome show that you guys might not know about called Chicago Reacts. And unfortunately, there's this dynamic duo of Kit and Kira. And there's a line that they always would say, Kira Maclone, I think maybe you could help me out. But when you see somebody like this, you have to say, she's a nice thick snack.
That's a nice thick snack.
That's a nice thick snack. It's a nice thick snack.
Wait a minute.
I'd eat that snack. I'd eat that snack.
All right. So this particular one, this one includes, let's see here. I inadvertently closed my screen. Vocal Fry, West Village Lease, NYU degree, parachute Gen Z pants, little spoon necklace for quick bumps, 3 times crop tops, black, neon, green, and white, product manager job at Meta. Not included Taylor Swift's new album. All right.
Well,
this
then
is
it's bullshit.
That's never.
I don't want it.
This is a particular favorite one for me, given some of our news tonight. Kanye West.
Kanye.
That was easy. That was like low branch.
Kanye.
But yeah, I mean, come on, dude, get some help.
He does. He really does need to get some help.
Oh my, he does, and there's going to be a story to that too. Gosh, there's one that I'm missing. God, I don't want to lose this one. I thought I had downloaded it. Oh, come on, where are my downloads here?
Oh, there's Professor Oreo, but what's he doing at your house?
Okay, here's okay. So I don't have the right one, but we're going to put this one up anyway. Here we go. The identity politic mayor. Why is it my?
Oh, we need to zoom in on that.
There we go. The identity politic mayor. So this particular costume includes the graying fright wig, the oversized, ill-fitting suit, thin skin, bad temperament, leadership plan not included. And finally, the #1 top-selling costume in the city of Chicago for 2022. It's the Kit Cabello's clone. It includes
Shut the facility down.
It includes the mullet wig, Van Dyke goatee, sports jacket, and a dehydrated, succulent Chinese meal.
Just add hot water.
Just add hot water.
That's a dapper looking man right there, if I do say so myself.
So there you have it.
If anything, I would say he's a nice shot.
That is a nice thing.
I'm going to need to close all these tabs on my browser that were opened so that we don't have any more hiccups during the show. Hopefully we're going to be running on good speed tonight. In the meantime, we have a public service announcement from Vince Clortho.
Gozer the Traveler. He will come in one of the pre-chosen forms. During the rectification of the Voldrani, the Traveler came as a large and moving torb. Then, during the third reconciliation of the last of the McKettrick supplicants, they chose a new form for him, that of a giant slore. Many Shubs and Zools knew what it was to be roasted in the depths of the slore that day, I can tell you.
Makes sense.
He's so right.
True story. All right, so moving into our first of all, I don't want to dominate the conversation. Let's go to the live chat and see what some of our viewers, if they're enjoying tonight's show. Yes, Kathy Powers, he does. Vince Clortho does speak the truth. I think I'm having some issues with my comments coming up. There we go. Yes, Uncle Warren. Get your hands off my penis!
Don't touch him! Don't touch him!
Gentlemen, this is Democracy Manifest. Yes, we do have Oreo's clone here tonight. I can't keep this up all night long. Kit, you know that this was a very, very loving roast, right? I don't know how you deal with that hair that long because
I don't know what you're talking about. This is what I look like. I'm
23 minutes in this wig.
Well, first of all,
Ed ditched it.
Well, first of
that
all,
mask gets warm.
First of all, this is a roast out of love, and I love you guys so much. This was actually a very pleasant Halloween. I'm surprised that the great scandal is out there now.
I got to tell you, kid, who could have imagined that us just goofing on that silly video I found on Reddit would turn into the foundation for our Halloween show tonight?
Well, you know what? I mean, I've always made the joke on a few of the shows that, hey, I'm a clone. And here's the thing. The reason why I say like the original kid died in 2013 is because 2013 was a very low year for me. Like a lot of my optimism just passed away, and I decided after that year it was going to be a whole I'm mentally for myself to refortify myself and become stronger and better and not be where I was at in 2013. So when I say all the old me died, the 2013, that was a low year, probably the worst year of my life. Going afterwards,
except for that's when he met a lovely young woman by the name of Kira.
Oh, I mean Kira, yes.
Okay, who had 7:55 p.m. Central Time on the sex chat live chat bots?
What
on the poll the pool?
Wow,
that's 7:55.
Hey, sex chat bot, lay off us. What do you like about
sex bot shouldn't be here. Kira's not on the show. The
that's
sex
right.
bot only come when Kira comes.
That's
fine love.
Hey, that's what the clone said.
Hey, first of all, what I want to know is sex bot. What gives? You're always so. Do you want to know about news? And by the way, find love on a new dating site. Listen, if Bumble and Tinder can't do it, what makes you so special?
See, who needs the extra kits here when we got the original? That's all I gotta say.
Right here.
All right, so let's go into our first Halloween-related story of the evening. I found this entertaining. This comes from Block Club Chicago. as reported by Alex V. Hernandez, right in time for the holidays. Lincoln Square alderman mocks CTA with ghost train costume at city council. Good for him, man.
That's hilarious.
Good for him.
Yeah, that's timely too.
Very
perfect,
right? Lincoln Square alderman Andre Vasquez wore the Halloween costume as he's set to introduce a measure to require CTA leaders to give city council quarterly updates or risk losing funding because of the snarky reference to Chicago's ghost train problem.
Ooh.
The Halloween costume is a reference to CTA trains and buses that show as incoming but never actually existed, so they don't arrive, often leaving commuters stranded or stuck on a platform or a bus stop for 30 minutes or longer. This reminds me of the United States Postal Service, like marking that they delivered your package online, and then it takes 2 more days to get there just so they can keep their metrics up.
That's where they learned it from, Jerry.
Ghost post office. A group of neighbors were so fed up with being ghosted by the CTA that they created their own tracking devices, the Commuters Take Action Group. Aldermen sometimes dress up during city council meetings near Halloween. Lori Lightfoot does it all the time. Vasquez told Black Club he chose to wear the ghost cutout to raise awareness about the ghost buses and trains so many Chicagoans have complained about. I believe public transportation to be a public good, and the public deserves a reliable, safe CTA system and president that doesn't ghost them, he said in a text message. To this end, Vasquez introduced a measure Wednesday requiring quarterly hearings by the CTA where transit officials answer questions about service levels, operations, and security. Vasquez's measure also aimed to block city funding and other intergovernmental agreements with the CTA if the transit authority officials don't participate in the quarterly hearings. About 27 alderpeople signed on as co-sponsors, but later Wednesday, Aldermen Scott Wagasbach and Jason Irvin moved to send Vasquez's measure to the Rules Committee where legislation typically dies. Everyone collectively. This guy Wagasbach, you want to talk about another turncoat who bamboozled everybody, pretending he was a progressive, like Lightfoot did when she ran. This guy's another. I will use the phrase tonight. Piece of shit.
Or Jagoff.
Or Jagoff. Yes. Vasquez called out the two. You mean these 2 aldermen? Oh yeah, where is he? There we go.
Fucking bitch, am I right?
There you go.
I beg your pardon. What did you say?
So Vasquez called out the 2 aldermen in a tweet saying it's a shame his colleagues thwarted the measure when Chicagoans are concerned about the safety and reliability of the CTA and demanding more accountability from transit officials. During a September City Council meeting, Alderman Grill, and really, why would these 2 idiots that are up for re-election, right? Why would they decide to go move this to the Rules Committee where legislation dies when they know this is going to be all over the news and commuters are going to see these 2 aldermen don't give a shit about the constituents in their wards?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Ridiculous.
Yeah, it is ridiculous.
Tone deaf. And I think Kathy's mentioned in the past in the live chat, she's shared comments in the past about the horrible unreliability of the CTA presently. Lucky I don't have to rely on them, but I no reason to doubt this is, and I'm glad I don't have to. I mean, I'm glad I have a car. Which reminds me, I also want to share something real quick. Speaking of cars, am I in the mood for Halloween or what?
That is a pretty good badass picture right there.
Casa de Vasi with the pumpkin in the window, which I pulled down to have behind me here tonight. But I digress. I took that last night. I was like, I've got the pumpkin up there. I was like, and I need to take a Halloween picture. Anyway, going back to the article. During a September City Council meeting, aldermen grilled CTA leaders over commuter complaints that have mounted about unreliable service on the city's public transportation system. The CTA long has been short-staffed, and agency officials previously said they're struggling to hire more operators, representatives. Somebody's calling me. Also pledged to adjust the transit schedules to align with how many trains and buses are actually in service. Do any of you have to rely on public transportation? Ed, are you just taking Lyft to work these days?
Right now I am, because my car is really hating me. But I actually, I get an interesting story because sometimes I'll take those Lyfts where you share a ride, like where someone else gets picked up while you're still on your way to where you're going. And I talk to them just to get a sense of where anybody else is with anything that goes on in the city. And one guy was talking about public transportation, and he said it is much worse now than it was 10, 15, 20 years ago.
Yeah.
And And it's, and I remember because I used to take public transportation about 20 years ago when I just moved into the city, and buses and trains, I mean, they were pretty reliable. They weren't that bad. And they had Bus Tracker for most of those years back then. And something happened. The city decided, well, let's just keep the schedule on there regardless of whether the buses actually show up. And whoever made that decision is an a-hole.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to bring up something too, because in 2008 is when I got out of the Marine Corps. So that was 14 years ago. And I, for all my college years, from 2008 to 2013, I relied on the CTA, and I never had a problem with it. But since then, like, there's a lot of people I do know who still use the train. They're talking about so many delays or phantom trains or phantom buses that don't show up. I can't even imagine it, because now I use a vehicle now, and just like it's like night and day. Even when I would go downtown now to even use some of the services, it took a while for the trains to even get there. I was surprised about the wait time. And when I was in Japan in 2020, just before the world ended or went crazy, better yet, the trains there were always prompted on time. It got getting used. I had to get used to the fact that trains wouldn't come on time here in Chicago just before we started doing the lockdowns. It was crazy.
Yeah, I used to. I didn't depend on public transportation. I was always a biker, and so every now and again, I would have to take a train or a bus. The trains always felt reliable to me. The buses never felt reliable. I would always just start walking. And half of the time, I'd say 50% of the time, I would get to my destination walking, even if it was more than a mile before a bus would make it to a bus stop. However, I was never ghosted. I was never looking at the app, told a bus was coming, and then never had a bus come. If that would happen to me with any level of regularity, I would have flipped out, especially because I would be taking public transportation only in a dire situation, say a weather situation, or, if my bike tire got a flat. So I'm already in a context of like misery, right? Yeah. And then to have something not show up that's saying it's going to show up would have put me into a tailspin.
Well, during a September City Council meeting, Alderman grilled CTA leaders over commuter complaints that have mounted about unreliable service on the city's public transportation. All I can say about Alderman, Alderman Wagaspak and Irvin.
What an asshole.
So there you have it.
I have a feeling we're going to use that one a lot.
Yes, we are.
Oh, yeah.
A fresh one that I loaded up there. All right. So as we go into the Halloween weekend, this is actually something that popped up that I thought, it's an interesting point, given our reviled Mayor Lightfoot's proclivity for her claiming and pandering that these curfews stop crime when it seems that they don't. Let me open up the window here.
And by the way, apparently JR doesn't realize that I have clones all over the place.
And that I am one of them.
Oh, should we help people out who are just joining us?
Can we run the opening show intro again? Should we run the Chicago while I get the story queued up?
Or we could do my short one is only like 35 seconds.
We can do both.
Yeah.
For those who joined us late, this is what you missed at the top of the show. I was up all night long into the wee hours of the morning preparing this. So we're not restarting the show because there's a countdown there. But for all of you to enjoy, here you go.
Greetings, citizens of the United States of America. This is a message from an
Cheers and salutations. My name is Kit Cabello. I am the host of Chicago Corner.
What is the charge? Eating a meal? A succulent Chinese meal? See that chap over there? Get your hand off my penis! Gentlemen, this is Democracy Manifest.
What a fucking bitch, am I right?
It's Halloween, it's time for scares, it's time for screams. It's Halloween. The ghosts will spook, the spooks will scare. Why even Dracula will be there. It's time for games, it's time for fun. Not for just one, but for everyone. The jack-o'-lanterns are all lit up. All the dummies are made and stuff. By just looking you will see it's this time of year again. It's Halloween, it's Halloween. It's Halloween. It's Halloween.
Let me tell you what terrified me the most of that video. That where did he go? Jerry's gone. That was prepared for the beginning of the show. That footage of Lori Lightfoot scared the hell out of me.
Oh, that's so frightening. So frightening. So frightening. There you go.
Yeah. And I totally missed the moo and oink in there before. I mean, I think that's probably the best part.
There is no fifth chaos god. There is none.
Liar!
I think the bloody elevators from the Shining were kind of on the same level of horrifying as Moo and Oink.
Oh, and the other thing that was fantastic was the Rama manual from the Upside Down.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that was terrifying.
The terrifying face, yes.
Yeah, but those two. I only can imagine walking into the elevator and seeing like two versions of myself, and I would be freaked out by that. It's like, oh boy, wow, what did I walk into?
You know, I should have known when I bought this adhesive back beard, it just wasn't going to cooperate for the rest of the show. But Ed, I want to.
It was rainbow fentanyl, okay?
Ed, can you share with us what went into the making of that very special tribute to our clone donor?
Oh, you know, actually, well, let me take the mask off so I can breathe a little better here. Oh my God.
Hey, it's not easy.
How do you breathe behind that face?
How do you breathe? Yeah, how do you breathe in that face? Yeah, so one of our good streaming friends, Reef Breland, who has a show called Reefer After Dark, he introduced us to the wonders of artificial intelligence. And there is this AI that makes graphics for you. You just have to ask it to do stuff, and you give it words like Kit Cabello and succulent Chinese meal and I don't know, running the bulls in Pamplona or something, and you see what it comes up with. And then, some of those things are just amazingly frightening. Like you guys may have noticed in that image, there's like a guy who looks kind of like Kit Cabello running in Pamplona, and these gigantic Chinese dumplings seem to be chasing him or running with him. I don't know if they're in cahoots. I don't know.
What is going on?
What is going on?
Ed, thank you for that story for the people. I want to share Kathy Powers in the live chat shares with us regarding Lori in that video from the opening. Yes, she probably was passing out poison candy. So, guys, we
that sir, that sir is slander, and I don't appreciate it. You know darn well I don't give out candy.
Frightening.
Talk about really terrifying. So, what else was I going to share a second ago? Okay, we got through the clone video, poison candy, and once again, Jerry lost his train of. Somehow I think we inadvertently blocked Extra Bullet in the live chat. I saw he'd been blocked.
I saw that too.
Yeah,
let me try to fix
that.
that.
If you are, that was not intentional, and I didn't click the button. I think in our haste to try to ban the sex bots, we inadvertently knocked.
Okay, hold on, Uncle Warren. I got you.
Yeah. So while Ed goes into that, let's go into the story as reported by Melody Mercado at Block Club Chicago. Good Kids Mad City sues city over youth curfew, wants court to block enforcement during Halloween weekend. I'm all for that.
Yes, please.
Say the rules need to be adapted to ensure police are not citing them for curfew violations when they do after-hours community work like monitoring cops and peacekeeping. A very, very important service not provided by the city, monitoring who watches the watchmen. Right. So in a lawsuit filed Wednesday in federal court, group leaders said the citywide curfew impedes on its members' First Amendment rights. Organizers said some of the work they do, including monitoring the conduct of police officers and advising people on their rights, is constitutionally protected and often happens outside of city curfew hours. But nothing in the city's policy carves out an exception for that work, making young organizers vulnerable to being cited for curfew violations, the group said in the lawsuit. The group filed the lawsuit after city officials refused their request to revise the curfew enforcement so Good Kids Mad City organizers can continue their community outreach, organizers wrote in the suit. The group also is asking for an emergency hearing requesting the city back off of its curfew enforcement this Halloween weekend when organizers lead peacekeeping and police accountability activities in Hyde Park. The citywide curfew chills Good Kids Mad City members from hosting peacekeeping and cop watching activities during curfew hours, the group wrote in the lawsuit. Good Kids Mad City members fear that if they participate in these activities during curfew hours, police officers will subject them to arrest, harassment, and or police violence. In a news conference Thursday afternoon, Mayor Lori Lightfoot said she'll let the court take the leads here. Now let's not forget that she was, rushing to make sure that the curfews were in place to pander and make it look like there was a sense of security that has never been there. If you read the ordinance, there's plenty of opportunity in the ordinance itself for them to do exactly what they're saying they want to do, but there's nothing that prevents people who are active and engaged, going to events, staffing events, from being out in the city, Lightfoot said. The weekend curfew for youth was moved from 11 to 10 p.m. and expanded to include I'm going all over the place with my voice. Okay. And was expanded to include in May. Separately, I'm having an identity crisis here with all these voices.
Oh, no.
Separately, Lightfoot issued an executive order banning unaccompanied minors younger than 16 from Millennium Park after 6 p.m. on weekends. Lightfoot championed the updated curfew and overall curfew enforcement as ways to combat downtown violence after a 16-year-old was fatally shot at the Bean. She faced pushback from local groups, youth organizers, and aldermen who pointed to research that showed curfews are ineffective, but the expanded curfew passed city council in a 30-19 vote. So, kind of unrelated but related. I think, did all of you see this story that was reported last week about the what do they call those events where everybody brings their cars out and starts like dragging in the streets?
Oh, I saw that video. My God.
Someone was there shooting at the crowd. So what gets me is like all this curfew and all of the increased police. Where were the fucking police? The fact that even had the ability to gather that many people in the street without anybody calling the police, and there's no police presence there, so that somebody decided to go on a shooting spree, it just blows my mind.
Well, and I don't really know what the facts are that like people under the age of 16 are the ones doing the shooting.
Right.
I feel like it was just this like arbitrary, like, oh shit, a 16-year-old got shot. Okay, all 16-year-olds not allowed, especially if you're black. Not saying anything, but that's exactly, that's exactly what's so.
Cop watching is one of the primary activities for Good Kids Mad City organizers, according to their lawsuit. Organizers take eyewitness accounts, record video footage, recording the identities and contact information of young people who have police contact so that they can assist in securing counsel and jail support, according to the lawsuit. Members also provide information to youth about their constitutional rights when engaging with officers, according to the group. Peacekeeping includes walking the streets and encouraging other young people to join them in mutual aid and other community building efforts, according to court documents. This can include mediating conflict between young people, disrupting violence and vandalism, distributing food, and more. This kind of reminds me of the Guardian Angels in New York decades past. Taking back the streets not as vigilantes, but like basically presenting a presence out there that the cops know that they're watched and that other people can feel safe with other fellow, peers.
It's sort of vigilante. I
don't think so. I mean, vigilante is taking action against.
It's just they're not, because they're not technically cops is what makes them.
Vigilantes.
Yeah, I think there's kind of a fine line when it comes to like an organized group like that. When it's it's in the interest of the community. And if it's authorized in some way by the city or the municipalities, I guess it wouldn't be so much of a vigilante. Maybe it's a 50-50 situation.
It's only vigilante if they dress up as some kind of animal and have special weapons.
I would say, in your opinions, Mr. Cabello and Miss Maclone, I clearly interject and disagree. Kira Maclone. I abjectly disagree with your assessment of the situation. I think that these young people are fine, upstanding citizens of the community. And so long as they don't have weapons and they are not out there causing violence, promoting violence, looking out for each other, I would qualify them as decent individuals that are simply exercising their rights to protect their peers against the police brutality that we've seen in this city far too long after my untimely demise. That's all I got.
Wow.
You know what?
Wow.
That
was amazing.
I have to agree with the ghost again of our former mayor. But here's the one thing I would have to say, and hopefully the mayor, his ghost, will agree with me. As long as we don't have that dirty bastard Spider-Man, because you know what? He's a goddamn menace. And you know what? I'm going to tell my colleague Kira McCown, no relation to Maclone, that we need to get more pictures of Spider-Man for my private use only. So there you go.
No,
I want those pictures
of Spider-Man. It's going to be doing upside down kissing.
No, that isn't. No, that's a different super something.
I would claim that as far as vigilantes go, the only one that I can truly trust out there on the street that I know is really only going to target those that are the bad ones. Are my favorite.
Well, here I am.
That's the
Rock
one.
you like a hurricane.
That's all I got.
Yeah.
Have a happy Halloween to everybody, and go see my movie Punch None for Harold Washington, still in AMC theaters until next Thursday.
Yeah, that's pretty great. That movie got extended another week.
And I'm glad I figured out a way that we could use the ghost overlay that Mr. Heller provided for us this evening, because we are more and more fans having remembered Harold's legacy and being reminded with that film, which is I've told and I've had some people I've told go see it. So I'm glad that they're taking my advice. Phenomenal movie. We had Joe Winston on not this past Tuesday, but the Tuesday prior. please go check it out. But back to the article. Although the police department's policy for processing curfew violators includes a safety clause for those exercising their First Amendment rights, Good Kids Mad City leaders say that does not go far enough to protect their organizers and their work. The group also fears retaliation because they've been critical of the police department, according to the lawsuit. There's the slippery slope there. Even though the courts have long held and recognized that cop watching is protect First Amendment activity in the absence of specific instructions from the police department, police officers are unlikely to recognize cop watching as protected First Amendment activity, according to the lawsuit. Unlike a group of people gathered to protest an issue using signs, chants, and other tactics, youth leaders that cop watch often appear to be merely loitering in a public space, even though their presence is protected expressive activity. Protesting outside Lollapalooza in July, Good Kids Mad City signaled they were prepared to take the issue to court if city officials did not negotiate. They said they moved forward with the lawsuit after city officials refused to include a clause in the curfew guidelines explicitly protecting protest, violence, interruption activities, observing and or documenting the activities of law enforcement, commonly referred to as cop watching, mutual aid and or food distribution, alternative recreational activities hosted for the purpose of community safety and well-being, any gathering focused on political education and or learning about rights. A Block Club Chicago investigation found that between May 27th and August 8th, police primarily enforced the curfew on the south and west sides, where Good Kids Mad City tends to do its outreach. Additionally, the Sun-Times analyzed data about who was cited for curfew violations during massive downtown protests after Minneapolis police murdered George Floyd, and that the Sun-Times found 75% of the 400 violations were given to black people. So, Kira Maclone, yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
you do have a point
absolutely.
there, too.
Absolutely. Black people are always overrepresented in these numbers. And yeah, those dangerous unarmed children, well, when they have black skin, they're more dangerous somehow. They find a way to weaponize it.
And here's what's ironic here. A lot of these young kids are people of color. They're out there. They want to watch out for their friends. They want to watch out for their peers. They want to watch out for their, fellow young people across the city.
I think here let's be very clear here what we're seeing. We're seeing people come together to try and help each other out in a city and with a city government that doesn't care about the neighborhoods that it's abandoned. So if these young people want to help each other out, help out their neighbors that are very vulnerable, what's the harm? What's the harm of actually trying to make your communities better? And see, the thing is, what I think a lot of law enforcement and people who are in power are afraid of is that they're going to make them look incompetent at their jobs, because the thing is, we have all been abandoned. I talked about this on the show on Heartlands Media with Lainey, with Jerry, and with Daniel, and even today with Lauren on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. We are effectively, our institutions failed us. Our leaders failed us. They abandoned us and they were ill prepared. And we're still dealing with the consequences of what we saw in 2020. And this city is struggling to get a breath of fresh air. So it's up to the people right now to fight for each other. It's up to the people to come together and make our community safer. We have no real representation in our city government. That's why this 2023 election cycle, and look, I know a lot of people burnt out by electoral politics, and I'm going to be the one that's going to say the line, but I think that this election year in our city, in Chicago for 2023, will be the most important election year of our lifetime, because we have a chance to vote out all these jagoffs that are in power. We see a lot of these corrupt aldermen stepping down. We have this mayor that in my mind, we cannot afford a second term of Lightfoot. That's something altogether differently, but I'm very proud of what these young people are doing.
I have
Yes!
I have some poetry, courtesy of Kathy Powers.
Awesome.
A 6 o'clock curfew is the title of this one. It's time for Lori to give more free gas cards and bus passes to get the kids home by 6 during rush hour. This world-class city shuts its door on the young at 6 p.m. Everybody knows we can fill the CTA during Russia-Homa time or fill the Cook County Jail with our young. Our children are criminals. Lori has declared it.
Thank you, Kathy.
And then I really like this one. Lift the curfew, also from Kathy Powers.
Okay.
Beanie, beanie in the park. We can't see you when it's dark. The criminal children that you mark make our future seem quite stark. Lori has declared it.
What a fucking bitch, am I right?
Excuse me. I'm sorry. What did you say?
What a fucking bitch, am I right?
Oh, that's what I thought you said. Hey, look, Jerry Clonalatos. I put this bean curfew in place for the children to protect the children from being able to hold their leaders accountable. Yeah, that's.
I have the power at my fingertips with that mouse, Lori. All right, let's go to our next story. We kind of mentioned this at the top of the show. It has a local angle now from Block Club Chicago, another article from Melody Mercado. Kanye West's image painted over in Chicago mural after rapper's anti-Semitic remarks. Okay, can I go on the record as saying I don't understand, have never understood Kanye West's popularity, nor have I ever understood his musical genius. Granted, that's not necessarily my style of music, but he's always impressed me as being a nut. And I'm not saying that to slander people with mental health issues. This guy has been enabled far too long because of his celebrity, like a lot of really nutty celebrities that should be in institutions or seeking mental health counseling. His anti-Semitic remarks this week, it's just like, well, finally, that's what it took to like get people to start realizing the emperor has no clothes here, much like they used to defend Michael Jackson, despite his weird proclivities. And to this day, I have endless arguments with fellow film buffs who love Woody Allen. I've always thought Woody Allen was a fucking creep.
Oh, man, yeah, dude, that whole thing was marrying his daughter?
Yeah.
What the frick?
All of his early movies were signaling his wish fulfillment of like just being a creepy old man, looking to like hook up with young women or young girls, underage girls.
Well, Jerry, you don't quite understand. Like, look, I'm just kind of like a misunderstood guy. I kind of talk like this, and I'm just all around the corner. I don't really kind of know. I mean, but just come on, like turn a blind eye to it. Just one time.
We are a stable of mimics. I love that we can all like take our turns mimicking these crazy celebrities and public figures that we're always talking about. But in regards to the article from the Local Slant, the mural's creator posted a photo of the Fulton Market mural with West blacked out and said, "We need better role models." A second mural of West was defaced. And there you go. And you know what? I don't necessarily know that it was right for this guy to decide to go deface a mural. I mean, that's free speech too. But to his point, we need better role models. Yeah, have for a long, long time. The 14-foot mural was created by Chicago-based artist Jason Peterson at the intersection of West Lake Street near North Sangamon Street. So, in deciding to exercise his thoughts on West, this person who decided to deface the murals basically vandalized the work of Chicago-based artist Jason Peterson. So this is kind of a little tricky story, but it showed a black and white image of West over words painted in white and black white stripes. Excuse me. A video posted to Twitter on Wednesday showed someone painting over West, replacing him with a silhouette. And the tweet says, let me see if I can play this without any problems in playback. "Very crazy. I'm witnessing this right now. They're painting over the Kanye mural in Chicago."
He needs help. You know what? I'll never forget the day I actually met Kanye West. It wasn't really like I shared words with him, but it was 2019. Amara Enya was running for office, and they had a meetup on the south side of Chicago. And Chance the Rapper was there, Amara Enya was there, and then Kanye came out in the background. And honestly, he's a lot shorter than I thought he would be. Yeah, I expect.
Yeah, usually I find that's the case with male celebrities.
Yeah,
they seem very big on screen, and then you meet them, and you're like, "Oh wow, you're shorter than I am." Okay.
Yeah. Well, he wasn't shorter than me, but I was like, I expected him to just be a little bit more taller than me, and he didn't really say much. He was just there, but it's quite clear that Kanye has issues. He's from Chicago, but his friends and family, I guess even his team that's supposed to really take care of him, they all failed him. Like, I don't think Kanye's ever heard no.
No, that's right. Let me also clarify something here. I thought I misunderstood in reading the article that the mural was blocked out by another artist, because this video shows, this is crazy, they're painting over the Kanye mural in Chicago, but it was the actual artist, if I'm understanding the article correctly.
Oh, whoa.
Jason
Okay, then that's
Peterson
a lot
was
different.
The artist.
Yeah.
He was the artist. He painted over that mural that he put up, as we're seeing here. And interesting that how cleanly, didn't deface the text or the wording, but Peterson posted to his Instagram. As I went down the page, I saw these details. Peterson posted to his Instagram story later Wednesday showing a photo of the mural with West completely blacked out with a caption saying, "We need better role models." Peterson told Block Club Chicago he removed West at the request of the building owner, who is Jewish. He declined comment further. Wow. All right. Well, fair enough then. The artist decided to revise his work, and this was not a random act of vandalism, which raises other questions. I'm glad that the artist respected the request of the building owner and made another statement. Multiple brands, including Adidas and Balenciaga, have cut ties with the rapper in recent weeks as he's made anti-Semitic and other bigoted remarks. Earlier this month, West posted a text message between himself and Sean Diddy Combs in which he claimed that Combs was controlled by Jewish people. He wrote on Twitter that he would soon go DEFCON 3 on Jewish people, according to the Associated
Press. I saw that tweet. Yes.
That's fucking nuts.
Yeah, it's bonkers.
Kanye West.
What a fucking bitch, am I right?
He's gone nuts.
Yeah. And to the point of the artist, yes, we do need better role models. And, I think that oftentimes just regular citizens who are doing really great things in the world are never uplifted because we don't have millions of dollars. We have teachers diving in front of children while mass shooters are coming through the school, and we don't even talk about them. We got the
cops standing out in the hallway waiting for backup or waiting for instructions, as we saw down in Texas. Cowards, yellow-bellied cowards.
Yeah. And so, I think that there are real heroes in this world, but for some reason, the people who are making all the money and calling all the shots and completely elite are getting all of that attention. And it's just everything. It's as far as how we're being incentivized is all wrong. And it's really unfortunate. And I think it says a lot about our culture. I think it says a lot about like who we're willing to uplift in the public eye and what we're actually interested as people. And, I do get curious. Is it because of what, the media puts up and that's who we're told to honor as a hero and as a celebrity? Or is it because that's what people want to buy?
To buy his product.
It's what people actually want to look at. Nobody gives a fuck about someone who made somebody else's day better because that's boring as shit.
It's to drive consumerism too, Kara. That's the other thing, is to drive sales and consumerism.
It's just maddening. I know so many good people in the world that are doing so many good things and are barely scraping by to make it in this world. And that's because it's not honored. It's not we've talked about this, Jerry. You can't be a business owner, pay your people really, really well, do really good things, be fair to your customers, deliver a great product, and make a boatload of money. I just feel like there's just a disparity there. Maybe a handful of people can do that, and it's not the norm. You usually have to completely use your workers. You have to create a shitty work environment. You have to spend as little money as possible. And then that's how you make your riches.
I would highly recommend to everybody across the city of Chicago, if you want to understand what a real role model does, go see my movie, Punch 9 for Harold Washington. I would recommend that you take the family. I would recommend that you take your kids. I would recommend the teachers, if they can, take their students. Because I think that the example that I tried to set in reestablishing some civility and in my efforts to there we go.
You're doing so great. You were doing so great.
I was looking for the word in my efforts to oh my God, when we're talking about the Democratic Party, what is it? Reform. That's the word I lost.
Reform.
In my efforts to reform the Democratic
All that
Party.
kid DNA is getting your brain.
Yeah, before my untimely demise, I did everything I could to reform the system here in Chicago, and I recommend that if you go see my movie or even go read a book on my mayoral service to the city of Chicago, you will understand what the definition of a true leader and a true example for people really is. And as far as others that are doing good work across the city of Chicago, you need look no further than the good people here at Chicago Corner who are constantly breaking stories, sharing things, and trying to do their civic duty to serve the people.
Well, here I am.
There we go.
Are ghosts allowed to promote us, Jerry? Do they let them do that?
I think in this case, I'm looking at a very, very fine staff of people here, and I don't make any hesitation in stepping forward and reminding the good viewers in our live chat to please share the links to Chicago Corner. They are also available at chicagocornertv.com. You can find them on YouTube at Chicago Corner. You can find them on Twitter at Chicago Corner TV. And, what's this all about? We're not all lump here.
Okay,
it's a famous quote he said one time. I don't know what it meant.
That's
all right.
awesome.
If he keeps haunting us, I'm blaming you, Jerry.
You know what I think, Ed? I think I'm going to give you Lori, and I'm going to continue to do Harold Washington. I think that's how we will divide our duties here at Chicago Corner as we analyze stories, and I can be very, very verbose, except in those moments where I lose my train of thought and forget a word that is very, very important to constructing and contributing to my imitation of the late, great Harold Washington.
You got to brush up on all those $5 words that he used to use.
I know.
Exactly.
I know.
Because it used to befuddle and dumbfound all the members of city council when he would come up with those big words, and then they had to go and find a dictionary to find out if he actually insulted them or not. I thought that was pretty awesome.
I loved it. Oh, this movie is so good.
Mr. Heller, there was a method to my madness. All right, so going back to the article real quick. So okay, so granted, it was the artist who decided to black out, no pun intended, the mural. So West was, and this is something I also saw. Do you guys, what's her name? Candace Owens, okay? He was at an event with Candace Owens where they were both wearing White Lives Matter t-shirts.
I have
no
idea. They must have done a serious line or a mountain of coke. I mean,
Candace Owens?
What a fucking bitch, am I right?
Yeah, I think we got to upgrade.
What an asshole.
I personally think that Candace Owens is Laura Ingraham in blackface. Because you never see them both in the same place at the same time.
In the same room, right? Yeah. Was anybody doubting that White Lives Matter? What?
People who insist on White Lives Matter don't understand. Yes, they do, but the problem is people have forgotten for too long that Black Lives Matter. Now, yes,
yeah, you don't have to advertise White Lives Matter. They have always,
right? But you've got Candace Owens and Kanye West, who are the good little Uncle Toms and Aunt Jemimas. Okay, who are out there pandering to white people and basically emboldening racists. It's obscene.
Are we allowed to call them that though, Jerry?
Yes.
Okay.
I don't know those rules. I
mean,
I would say in this situation, Mr. Vassalatos is clearly within his rights to call out people like Candace Owens and Kanye West for the racists that they are against their own people. So yes, they are Uncle Toms and Aunt Jemimas. They do nothing to stand up for the rights or the dignity of Black people in the Chicago community or elsewhere.
When you see Kanye and Candace Owens wearing the white, like I kind of want to pull them aside and be like, what are you doing? What are you trying? I think they're just doing it to get attention for attention's sake.
Pandering kit, money. controversy sells. Everybody's looking at them on social media and clicking through. Okay. Black Lives Matter is, yes, sadly, that movement has been co-opted by people who financially benefited, which means all white people are so, oh, well, look, it's all about money. It was put in place to serve a purpose. Sadly, like a lot of organizations, similarly organized unions get co-opted by bad actors and bad players.
Mm-hmm.
You cannot dismiss the mission statement and the foundation of what any of these organizations were meant to do to protect and advocate for the people that they represent.
Yeah,
Period.
absolutely.
I'm starting to sound like Harold Washington without even using his ghost. There we go.
One thing we want to definitely remember, though, is that white wives also matter. So.
There you go. All right. So in a 2018 interview with TMZ, he said, see, this guy's been getting away with this shit for years. Slavery sounds like a choice. According to CNN, West is also accused of saying, quote, I love Hitler, I love Nazis during a TMZ interview, which did not air. They protected him.
He's got...
West was born in Georgia, but spent much of his youth in Chicago, where he honed his musical abilities. And let me also say, given the sad state of our mental health clinics in the city of Chicago, given the sad state of our mental health coverage and our mental health protections in the city of Chicago and access to mental health, it's very, very clear. I understand myself why Mr. West was clearly not served properly.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
yeah, it's like he just. He hasn't been on the right meds ever.
No,
that is a wild
statement. I think also there's something weird with his wiring, Ed. When we were talking earlier,
that's what I mean.
No, great. He's got musical talent, but again, I always look at that parable, "The Emperor Has No Clothes." There are a lot of celebrities who are so enabled. People around them blow so much smoke up their ass because they see the opportunities presented and being able to latch onto them and ride their coattails, that they are delusional. Kanye West is delusional, has been delusional, has the mental health issues as well that just make this a toxic cocktail of poison everywhere he goes, wherever he opens his mouth.
It's, I'm not a psychologist or a psychiatrist, but it kind of feels like it's some hybrid of Tourette's where he's got diarrhea of the mouth.
Okay, there's another thing.
I would say I like that phrase and I like that expression, diarrhea of the mouth, Mr. Heller. Thank you for contributing that. Mr. Cabello.
There's another thing too. When you say as somebody with a lot of power and money that you love Hitler, right?
Yeah.
Look, I'm not look, I'm not an expert. Clearly not an expert, but I could 100% guarantee that Hitler will not reciprocate those kind of same feelings to you, Kanye West. I mean, let's face it. Hitler wrote an entire book about the extermination of those he felt were inferior to him and his version of what the proper Aryan people should look like. So the thing is, when you go on social media, and the thing is, you have so many people that are suffering from mental health in this country. They're going to hear somebody like Kanye say that, and they might say, oh, yeah, he wasn't so bad, even though that jagoff started the Second World War. I mean, come on. What reality are you going to live in to where you're going to promote that, and then no one's going to pull you aside and say, what the hell were you thinking? A lot of these actors and actresses and musicians and celebrities, they've got so much unchecked power that no everyone is kind of afraid to tell them no because – let's face it, they need the money, but there comes a point. Hold on, wait. Joe Biden's is declining as we speak, and he's in charge of the.
No one said no to Biden.
Yeah. And remember, Bernie said he was his good friend. Bernie the cuck.
Has anyone seen my keys or my nuclear football?
Or the codes?
Where am
they're
I?
at Mar-a-Lago. Whoops.
Which way do I walk off of the screen here?
Come on, man.
Come on,
Jack.
You know the thing.
I like this one. Big Mr. Firebird. Who cares what a gay fish thinks, though?
Yeah.
Am I right?
Gay fish.
A gay fish
you
would.
Like fish sticks? You like fish sticks?
Yeah.
What are you, a gay fish? Why do they keep calling me a gay fish? South Park people, watch
South
it.
Park was ahead of its time.
That's a South.
Always.
Speaking of having to tell people no.
No. Run, Britt Cabello, run.
All right, so wrapping up this article, the other mural of West created by Hyde Park artist Chris Devins can be found at 1215 West Fulton Market. Devins unveiled the mural in September, which is inspired by old Kanye. In the mural, West is wearing a black suit with a silver watch and classic black sunglasses. On Thursday, the mural was seen partially defaced with the word trash written across West's body, hence that Spirit Halloween costume we presented earlier.
Yes.
Block Club asked the muralist in September, before West's public anti-Semitic remarks, if he was worried about previous controversies surrounding West. Devine admitted he's not a fan of everything West has done. Devins previously pointed to the drama circling the rapper's divorce from reality star Kim Kardashian. Those Kardashian women, they will drive anybody out of their fucking mind, okay? Look what they did to Bruce Jenner. Look what they did to Kanye West. There was this hilarious Mad TV bit years and years and years ago, and you can find it on YouTube, before Bruce Jenner's transition, where it wasn't known that, he felt that he was a woman. And he was reveling in the fact that living with the Kardashians, being married to Chris and having the Kardashian daughters around him was like living in an Armenian whorehouse.
Whoa.
Great Mad TV bit, man.
I just do not pay attention to pop culture enough. I have no idea about any of this. I can't even name anybody, I think, in the Kardashian family other than Kim.
There's Kim. I think there's Chloe.
Chloe's the one that's married to a athlete.
No.
Yes?
They recently got divorced because he was found in a brothel with two women who work in that profession.
Whoa!
And they were all drugged out of their mind.
You are much better off for not knowing any of these people, Miss Kira.
Man, everybody's life is so much more exciting than mine.
Right.
Okay, right on.
I would not want their life. It seems too.
I'd want their money, but not their life and what they had to sacrifice in selling their souls. Look, I don't care.
Take Kim's ass, though. That's what I'm saying.
What's that?
I would take Kim's ass.
All right. Well, Kim's
and put it on mine, and then put a tight dress on it and walk around.
Well, Kim's an attractive woman, okay, and her family is, but the fact that they know how to use this to make the money and gain the celebrity that they have without really contributing anything worthwhile, although Kim is now pursuing a career in law, I guess that's to balance out and make up for the sex tape that basically established. Do you know what the story is behind that? Not to go completely off on a tangent, but Paris Hilton had a sex tape that leaked. Paris Hilton didn't want it out there, but it got Paris Hilton a lot of notoriety. Kris Jenner, Kim's mother, basically, I think, from what I understand, masterminded behind the scenes Kim Kardashian's sex tape leaking. Because you know what? When a sex tape leaks, there are rights that are associated with that sex tape. There was a great series on, I forgot what streaming service, about Pam Anderson and Tommy Lee when their sex tape leaked. That was not something they intentionally did. But they used the law as much as they could to try to protect their rights. And in the end, there was a deal that was made because once it was out, you couldn't put the horses back in the barn once the doors were open. But in the Kim Kardashian sex tape, that was very, very clearly masterminded because the company that released it basically had all the rights sewn up before Kim Kardashian was out there claiming that she had been violated, and it basically helped launch her celebrity because she saw how it helped Paris Hilton, even though Paris Hilton didn't want that private tape. So, Kris Jenner.
I mean, I will go on the record and say, regardless of what we speculate Kim's
Kris, her mother.
No. What her motivations are behind doing what she's doing now, where she's trying to get people out of prison for ridiculous charges. I completely support what she's up to. I think it's really respectable. It's really the only thing other than that she basically is a professional celebrity, right? Because that's kind of how I look at these folks. It's like What do you do? You don't really do anything. You're just kind of a professional celebrity. And I do respect that she's using that celebrity to help other people get out of prison. So I will say that.
Yeah, I respect and admire that too. I don't think she's passed the bar yet. Last I heard, she's taken the bar several times, hasn't passed it to actually do more than the activism, which, again, makes me wonder, are you serious about this? Or are you just doing it to basically offset all the bad press that you get for being worthless otherwise? I don't know.
And she probably can get all of the best tutors there are to get inside
right?
of passing the bar. So
dedicate the time to it. And she's off doing everything else, making the millions. Also, I wanted to also share really quickly, I see our friend Eleanor is in the live chat. Don't worry, folks. Hillary Clinton will run again in 2024 because, like Joe Biden,
dear God, please don't.
No, I hope that's not the case. That would be if she runs again in 2024. I will officially, and I see people like going forward say we got to vote for her over Trump. I will literally start snapping at people.
No.
Ilhanar, our best thoughts also go out to your brother. I know that you shared on Kit's HLM show. Ilhanar's got a very ill brother, and I didn't forget when Kit and I were on Tuesday, and I know that that's really got to weigh heavy on you. So just best wishes out to you and your family, and hope you're managing as best you can.
I just got to say this too. Again, talking about Hillary Clinton, I know it's not about Chicago Corner, but I know that she'll probably run a campaign here in Chicago, like always, because she's a corporate Democrat. I'll never forget, Phil. It's like people forgot everything that we saw in 2016, and I'm just so disappointed in the actions of so many people who are right now panicking how this midterm is going to play out. It's like, oh, what? You're now realizing that the Democrats are going to lose? And it turns out that maybe if we broke away from this two-party system, we wouldn't be having at least 90% of these conversations about how inept the Democrats are. I really do wish that certain people at the time when the iron was hot actually had the courage and backbone to strike and break away. From Bernie Sanders to walking away from the Democratic Party to Cenk not being a sellout, and so much more. It's just, I really feel like there was an opportunity lost in 2016. Lightning that was in the bottle, and a whole bunch of people just decided to set loose and think, we'll just capture it again. It was one of those once in a rare lifetime moments. If things have gone differently, if people made different decisions and weren't afraid.
And I was going to say it's actions based in fear versus what, Jerry? Actions based in possibility. Right? And
go ahead. I'm sorry.
And that's where everybody went was fear. You know, and look at the outcome anyway. And so it didn't work. Being afraid didn't work. That sucks. I could have told you that.
Update from Eleanor. Again, I'm so sorry to hear this. I just don't want to forget what you and your family are dealing with. So again, best wishes. He's not doing well now. He's got leg clots, and now we're dealing with that, and he's lost 140 pounds. It's just heartbreaking. So sorry to hear this.
Oh.
Horrible. Let me wrap up the article, despite the little detour we went off with Kim Kardashian, who he was once married to, who I think probably, didn't make his mental health situation any better. Devin's the artist who of this mural down on let's see here. It was on 1215 West Fulton Market, said, I stand with my Jewish friends and family members against the irresponsible statements Kanye West has been making in the press lately. I do not condone or tolerate anti-Jewish statements of any kind. My partner is Jewish, as is her family, Devin said. Quote, I do not believe, however, that art should be censored. Instead, I think the mural should stay up as a reminder of the power of celebrity and the need to wield that power responsibly. As such, I will not be undoing my mural, he said. Devin said he believes the latest controversy calls up some important questions about public art and spaces. I would go further and say it brings up some other important questions regarding mental health and how available it is. But Devin says, quote, George Washington held slaves. Should we remove all of... Oh, we've had this conversation on the show. Interesting. George Washington held slaves. Should we remove all his statues? Christopher Columbus's discovery of the U.S. led to the slaughter of millions of the original people on this land. Should we remove all of his statues around the U.S. and cancel his holiday? Devins continued. These are great questions that should be debated. The muralist is asking for the public to not act reflexively or impulsively, and said he plans to repair his mural of West. Does Kanye West's erasure from our society prove his point? Devins asked.
I think it's also an important conversation to bring up the stigma that mental health carries along with it. In fact, I just had a conversation with a young person today about seeking mental health, and she was very resistant to it. And I said, go ahead, Jerry.
Why was she resistant to your recommendations?
Because she feels she doesn't need it, and I expressed to her, I think everybody needs some mental health and needs somebody to talk to.
When people recommend it to people, they think that it brands them as being something wrong with them.
Mm-hmm.
I've had conversations with someone I'm close to who I'm convinced has an anxiety disorder.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't mean there's something wrong with them.
No, I have an anxiety disorder.
We all have.
I have an anxiety disorder. Anybody want to see my fingers? Why do you think I have this file here all of the time? Because I'm constantly filing.
When I bring it up to them, though,
several therapists. I have many coaches. I have 2 coaches right now because I constantly need not only like validation for how I'm feeling, but I need to talk through things. I need to make sure the way that the lens through which I'm looking is one that's powerful and one that's going to get me what I want and what I need in life. And it's like, and if we were to look at mental health through that lens, more people will be flocking toward it because mental health is what will get you what you want in life.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's a generation that thinks that if you have to go seek help because you've been strong your whole life as this person is, and I respect and admire that greatly, it also kind of comes to a level of like feeling that admitting that you need help might mean you have to accept and admit you're not in control of everything. And it's not always about control. I see this person and I want that, I don't say you've got an anxiety disorder because there's something wrong. I say, maybe someone that can give you some counseling or even help with meds might make it easier for you to just not be so stressed out all the time. It's really about stress, blood pressure, and physical health as well, because this is an older person. And, I say this out of care and love. I mean, I know I've got my issues. I would never deny that, all of us have got anxiety and stress issues. And we need to acknowledge that mental health is not a stigma, nor acknowledging that, we should turn to help every once in a while if there's no other way within our means to manage it, for that extra boost.
Yeah.
Right on.
All right. So moving on, now we're going into the fun part of our show, the real Halloween content.
Oh, and thank you, Hobo Roadie, for the compliment on my clone.
Spooky, scary.
I don't know how many people know this, but Lincoln Park, where Lincoln Park Zoo is it's built over the old Chicago cemetery. Their bodies, you want to talk about where the bodies are buried? It's Lincoln Park in Chicago. Now, this is an old article from WBEZ Chicago. You see, I promised you we were going to tell spooky stories tonight because it is Halloween. And we got through the Halloween-related stuff as, Chicago news. But I don't know that this is fun talking about the fact that there are all these bodies buried in Lincoln Park, but it's definitely spooky ooky. All right, so Robin Amer reported on this in November of 2012. Chicago's tiniest green space, Lincoln Park, was once the final resting place for more than 35,000 Chicagoans, and it may still serve as the graveyard for as many as 12,000 people buried in the mid-1800s. The city cemetery predates the city itself, according to Chicago artist Pamela Banos. And you know what? I have to open up Archive PH because I didn't realize there's a paywall with the rest of this article. So give me just a second. Paste it and open it up elsewhere. I didn't realize NPR is now putting in paywalls here.
NPR, how could you?
Wow. All right, I hope this article opens so I can continue the story without having to take time to sign up for their website here. All right, here we go. Come on, load.
Load. For the love
No.
of God.
No such luck. Do you see that in the show notes, Ed?
I do, and I can't.
You having a problem with it too?
Yeah, so maybe we'll just have to take a minor break here with a little video.
Get your hand off my penis! No. What is the charge? Eating a meal? A succulent Chinese meal? Gentlemen, this is Democracy Manifest.
Don't touch him. Don't touch him.
I've got this keychain error on my computer right now, too. So even if I signed up for the email, I wouldn't be able to get through to it. So, Ed, I'm going to let you, you know what? I'm going to move on to the next story. We'll come back to the ghosts and the hauntings in Lincoln Park. I will move on to the other story, which I have always found this story horrifying, but fascinating. You know, when we talk about crazy monsters and see monsters in movies and stuff, we forget the fact that sadly there are some monsters in real life. In recent years, we've witnessed the horrors of what Jeffrey Dahmer did up in Milwaukee. We've witnessed what John Wayne Gacy did here in Chicago. I don't know that a lot of people in our audience know this, but probably one of the most famous and notorious and really first identified serial killers came from Chicago. I still look at this story and can't believe that this guy got away with this. Back in the 1800s, it was part of the foundation of the story Devil in the White City, the novel about Chicago's World's Fair, because H.H. Holmes would kidnap people coming to Chicago who would stay in his hotel here, right? Murder them, knowing that it would take months for people to realize people were missing that had come to Chicago to attend the World's Fair. With 100 rooms of the H.H. Holmes house were allegedly filled with trapdoors, gas chambers, staircases to nowhere, and a human-sized stove. You know, I don't want to freak people out here. I mean, it's Halloween. I'm not sharing this for entertainment value, but I do think it's like, it certainly got the creep out factor related to Halloween. If you were staying at the World's Fair Hotel, more commonly known as the H.H. Holmes Hotel, you might run up a flight of stairs and find that it led to nowhere. You'd open doors and see only solid brick. You'd enter a bedroom and suddenly smell gas seeping in. You'd try to run, only to realize you were locked in. Even if you could open the door, you probably couldn't find your way out of the house. And before long, you'd meet your gruesome end. Or at least, that's how the story of the H.H. Holmes house goes. As one of America's first known serial killers, H.H. Holmes became infamous not only for his crimes, but also for his legendary murder hotel in Chicago. Sometimes called a murder castle or murder mansion, this mysterious building was initially believed to be a normal hotel and just a way for Holmes to make money during the 1893 World's Fair. Now I'm going to bring up another graphic here. Quite naturally, someone figured out a way to capitalize on this, legendary horror story. And I'm waiting I'll continue until the screen loads and I'll share it with you all. But a police investigation later revealed something far more sinister. While it remains unknown how many people Holmes murdered in his house of horrors, he once boasted of killing 27 people. However, some estimates claim the actual number may have been as low as 9 or as high as 200. So somebody made a puzzle or a poster of the graphic of what the map of this home was like. I don't understand how somebody could hire contractors. And I guess the trick was he hired multiple contractors. He would hire a group of contractors to build part of the house, fire them, then have new contractors come in with alternate blueprints to build staircases that go to nowhere, rooms with trapdoors that go down to the basement, install gas pipelines to gas people in their rooms. I mean, this guy was, as Butcher on The Boys says, Kit, you watch The Boys, don't you?
Oh, yes.
Fucking diabolical. So H.H. Holmes became infamous not only for his crimes, but also for his legendary murder hotel in Chicago, sometimes called a murder castle or a murder mansion. This mysterious building was initially believed to be a normal hotel, just a way for Holmes to make money during the World's Fair. I said that. But a police investigation, said that. In recent years, some historians have cast doubt on whether the H.H. Holmes house was really a murder castle at all. While there's no doubt that Holmes was a serial killer, experts have suggested that some of the most sordid details of his home, like the homemade gas chambers and trapdoors, may have been mere products of yellow journalism. Now, this is curious. At the end of the day, only the man himself ever knew all of the secrets of the H.H. Holmes Hotel and how many people died within its walls. Here's this crazy bastard right here.
Wow.
Now, they're making a movie about this. Devil in the White City, I believe Keanu Reeves is here in Chicago, and I believe it's being produced and directed by Martin Scorsese.
You know, he
Hold on just a second. Can you zoom in on that face there, Jerry?
Uh-oh. What are we thinking? Wait, I didn't have the right... Here we go. Oh, come on!
Come on! Boo!
Are you sure you're the first one, Kit?
I am the original.
Uh-huh.
I am the prime descendant.
Terrifying. I can't believe I've been alone in rooms with you.
So, you know, interestingly enough...
Many rooms.
Kira.
Many rooms.
There was a guy who claimed to have lineage to Holmes, and I forgot which channel it was on, but there was a 12-part series where this guy who claimed to be Holmes's great-great-grandson did a DNA test, and they basically strung viewers along, I think, for like anywhere from 9 to 12 episodes. And they were like doing it here in Chicago. And it was interesting on the level of the historical documentation and investigation, because there were some theories that he may have been Jack the Ripper, because he also left the United States for a brief period of time at the time that the Jack the Ripper crimes were taking place. But as the article goes on to say, like in college when he worked in the anatomy lab and mutilated cadavers to defraud life insurance companies, or when he was the last person to have been seen with a missing little boy in New York, or when he worked as a pharmacist in Philadelphia and a customer died after taking his pills. After all these incidents, Mudgett simply skipped town and eventually changed his name to Henry Howard Holmes. Soon after his arrival in the Windy City, Holmes got a job in a drugstore on 63rd Street, using his knowledge of medicine and his charming personality to secure the position. He was fashionable, bright, and likable, like most sociopaths these days. In fact, he was so likable at a point in his life, he was married to 3 unknowing women at once. In 1887, he bought an empty lot across the street. You didn't know all this stuff, Kit. I'm glad there are people who don't know this story, because it is creepy. And
I don't know this story. This is terrifying.
I mean,
I'm glad I brought this to your attention. All right.
Having 3 wives. I mean, in this day and age, good luck keeping that a secret, buddy.
Can you guys stand by for just a second while I step away?
Oh, yeah, no problem. So,
all right.
So it looks like myself and the wonderful, incredible Kira Maclone, who's in the house.
I am in the house.
You know, I was actually, while we're taking this break, I was reacting to one of our videos, Brian Herrera, and like, I just felt like all of a sudden I had this phantom pain. I expect Kira punching me in the eye.
Oh my God.
Like, oh my God. It's like,
I should have had this ready, my Carl Kolchak Night Stalker hat, and reporting on this story.
Great show, by the way.
In 1887, he bought an empty lot across the street from the store where he worked and began construction on a 3-story building, which he said would be used for apartments and shops. Now, this map is also linked in our show notes. The structure was ugly and large, containing more than 100 rooms and stretching for an entire block. But Chicago was a city on the rise, and new construction was going up all over this part of the American Midwest. A lot of documentaries on this, you guys. If you want to check out more really well-produced documentaries, you can probably find on Netflix, Amazon Prime, and to our audience out there in the live chat. I can't wait for this movie, Devil in the White City, with Keanu Reeves.
I gotta read the book.
Yeah.
Yeah.
After all, Chicago was perfectly situated on the shores of Lake Michigan as a central hub for the expansive railroad network that crisscrossed the nation, all extending like spokes in a wheel from the city. Little did residents know that a house of horrors was about to emerge in that very same place. Oh, they share the map as well in this article. So yeah, I just think that as far as like creepy Halloween stories, if you want to kind of get into a creepy mood this weekend, and you know, last year
I'm always in a creepy mood, just so you know.
Last year we had paranormal investigators on the show, and I want to believe with evidence that, you know, there might be spooks, spokes, and specters out there, but I haven't ever seen any real evidence. This is the stuff that really creeps me out because it happened. And when you read the history of people like this, these are the kinds of stories that I feel are much more terrifying to get into the mood for Halloween.
Well, you know what's actually pretty frightening too. Since this is Halloween, if you want, you could look up the Bermuda Triangle in Lake Michigan. Yes, we have our own Bermuda Triangle.
Really?
Yeah.
Really? Do we?
Yes, we do. So let's actually hear all about the Bermuda Triangle here in Chicago. I can send you a YouTube link if you want us to check it out. Would you guys like to see it?
Yes.
So here it is. It's kind of interesting, but it's something worthwhile to check out. So let me go ahead and send it to you in the private chat. In 3, 2.
Got it. Let me open it up. Stand by, and I will open up a. So, Kit, go ahead and start telling us, and I will bring. Is it? What did you say? It's a video?
Yeah, it's a short YouTube video.
Oh, okay.
Watch
Okay.
like a few minutes of it. But there's a triangle portion of Lake Michigan that has been ground zeros for, again, vanishing aircraft, disappearing crews, sunken ships, and yes, UFOs, which by the way, hey, government,
What?
FBI, to my FBI handlers, look, just rip the Band-Aid off. Just tell people aliens exist. I'm willing. I will bet you $100 people will forget about it next week because people are so broke they don't care. Just tell people aliens exist. Watch, no one's gonna panic.
Everybody knows. It's no secret anymore.
Yeah, it's come on.
I'm loading the video. I'm not sure if this is a commercial on the front end. I did use the link that you sent me.
Yeah, it should be called Mystery of the Lake Michigan Triangle.
Okay. Skip the ad. Okay, we got it. Stand by.
All right, let's go.
See, this is why Darren McGavin, too bad he didn't live long enough to do a second season of Kolchak, the Night Stalker, with all these creepy stories out of Chicago. All right, here we go.
The Bermuda Triangle, a small region of the North Atlantic, said to have sent countless boats and aircraft to a watery grave. But you probably haven't heard of the Lake Michigan Triangle. With sunken ships, vanishing aircraft, and UFO sightings, this allegedly haunted area of the Great Lakes has earned a reputation for the frightening and unexplainable. So, Today we're talking about the mysterious Lake Michigan Triangle. But before we dive in, be sure to subscribe to the Weird History channel and leave a comment and let us know what other terrifying places you would like to hear about. Okay, time to set sail into the uncharted waters of weird history. On the Wisconsin side, there's Manitowoc. On the Michigan side, there's Ludington to the north and Benton Harbor to the south. Unexplained phenomena and frightening legends related to the region date all the way back to the late 17th century, when a French vessel disappeared with the tide, never to be seen again. The French explorer, by the name of Sieur de la Salle, started working on a massive ship designed for animal fur hauling and decided to name it Le Griffon. In August of 1679, his wood was finally ship-shape, and they set sail.
That's what she said.
Ambitions beyond now to discover a Northwest Passage to China and Japan, which would have been a pretty long trip, but that's why they call it exploring. Unfortunately, Le Griffon vanished while traversing the Lake Michigan Triangle. LaSalle had already departed for the mainland, and his remaining 6 crew members met the same fate as his ship. In 2001, a researcher named Steve Lebert found what he claimed to be Le Griffon's bowsprit at the bottom of Lake Michigan. Lebert's findings have yet to be verified, but the spar did include sculptures of griffins, the ship's namesake, which would be a strange coincidence. Sadly, the rest of the ship has never been recovered. 200 years later, the deadliest open water sinking on the Great Lakes would propel the Lake Michigan Triangle into infamy. In the wee hours of September 8, 1860, the wooden-hulled sidewheel steamship P.S. Lady Elgin collided with a much smaller schooner Augusta, which was loaded down with lumber and headed for Chicago. You really need to be alert during lumber season. Those boats don't exactly stop on a dime. Strangely, the smaller ship seemed untouched after the collision. The Augusta continued on for Chicago like nothing happened, as the Lady Elgin took on more and more water. Hundreds of sleeping passengers who had been partying all night received a rude awakening when the ship's crew began their evacuation efforts. Witnesses said shipmates did everything possible to cover the hole, including trying to plug it with mattresses. The lake seemed determined to swallow the ship. 300 people perished as a result of the crash, including the lady Captain Jack Wilson.
Wow.
His final hours saving as many passengers as possible. Built in 1870, the 132-foot-long, three-masted schooner Thomas Hume was part of a fleet of ships that belonged to lumber baron and general old-timey rich guy Charles Hackney when it disappeared with Triangle in 1891. Sailing alongside one of its sister ships, the Rouse Simmons, the Thomas Hume embarked from Muskegon to Chicago with a large shipment of lumber. After delivering the wood, both ships turned around to venture back toward Muskegon. Seeing ominous storm clouds gathering in the distance, the crew of the Rouse Simmons decided to turn back and stay in Chicago until the weather improved, which, considering it was Chicago, must have actually said something about the weather. But the Thomas Hume kept on toward home, never to be seen again. When the Rouse Simmons to Muskegon 2 days later, there was no sign of its sister ship in the harbor. Hackey and his business partner put up a $300 reward for information on the...
I'm sure we're going to get a copyright strike for this. I mean, can you kind of like give us some cliff notes on what your understanding is with, I mean, I never heard this before. Like you guys hadn't heard about Holmes. This is curious too.
Yeah, so let's go ahead and take down that video, but it just thought it'd be a little fun to share.
Yeah, no, I'm glad you did. I'm glad you did.
So if we do, obviously, like how we always do, we have to do fair use and everything else. But a little bit more cliff notes onto this. There have been a lot of ships and aircraft. Obviously, I think weather most likely is the culprit that caused a lot of the ships and planes to meet their untimely demise in Lake Michigan. But it's interesting to know. It's coincidence that in these three areas that connect to our own mini Bermuda Triangle, we have our own share fair stories of unexplained phenomenon in the air or things disappearing. And it's and again, it's nature that's a key culprit. But you know, it should show you that Lake Michigan is a serious force of nature. And when we did our documentary tour with the toxic tour, I mean, obviously I won't be swimming in Lake Michigan with the amount of chemicals in there, but you know, even before I knew it, I remember hearing stories from my grandfather and from other people that, you know, if you're going to go out into Lake Michigan, respect that body of water. Just because it's not the ocean, just because it's not the sea, you should treat it with the same amount of respect, because that lake, while it might seem calm, can easily go bipolar and destroy your ship. It is not this tame force of water. I mean, it will end you if you don't know what you're doing on the water. And those storms are incredibly violent. You know, I've had you know, as a kid, you know, my family, we had property out there in Michigan City, Indiana, and occasionally, sometimes we would get like these really big storms, and they're from the lake. There's no effing around when those storms hit you, because it will cause some serious problems to property, and if you're not careful, your life too.
You know, it's a good thing people don't have to cross Lake Michigan as much these days as they did in the old days. Ironically, Kit, you want to talk about a spooky transition. I had this video on my desktop that kind of relates to this spooky Lake Michigan Triangle story of what would happen today in today's culture if we had any ships sinking in Lake Michigan. Let me play the video.
My God.
Captain, the lifeboats are ready to go. Should we load the women and children first?
No, men and children first.
Excuse me, sir? It's 2022, Private. A woman can handle a sinking ship just as well as a man can. And if you don't think so, you're a misogynistic asshole stuck in 2008. Yes, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, for the time being, I am requiring men and children only.
Are you kidding me?
It's 2022. This is what you wanted. You wanted to be treated equal to men? Well, this is how men are treated. Like
No, we don't. We just say that half the time. We don't actually believe in it. Yeah, we do. Come on, we're just as capable as men are. Shut up! I identify as a man!
2022. You think I could open the door? It's 2022, Rose. I wouldn't want to imply that you can't handle the ice cold water the same way a man could.
I love 2022.
By the way, a little known wiki fact after seeing the film Titanic.
So there you have it.
Rose could have let him on the set.
She could have.
Yeah,
there was plenty of room on that.
There was plenty of room. He didn't
Wasn't
have to.
Fear that it would like flip over or something if you got up on it?
No. A lot of engineers were looking at that. Rose and Oh boy, no.
That selfish bitch.
Yeah. Oh, you want to talk about selfish bitch? There's a deleted scene from the Titanic where the old lady who's telling the story, she had that diamond in her hand the whole time, and she goes to the edge, and these are the same people who listen to her story talk about it for 3 hours, and she drops it into the ocean.
That was
What
a delete.
bitch, am I right?
Yes.
No, that's not.
And you want to know the crazy thing is? She had her granddaughter taking care of her the whole time, working at like a restaurant, like washing dishes and everything. That diamond was probably like worth like $2 or $3 million.
I think that was in the movie. I don't think that's a deleted scene. That was actually in the movie. Yeah, she was. I mean,
I haven't seen it for so long. There are some deleted.
Diamond of the ocean diamond or diamond of the ocean or something like that. Like
No. Heart of the ocean.
Wait. Okay, so the
heart
thing
of the
is, in the film, she drops the thing, the diamond into the ocean.
Yeah.
The deleted scene, the alternate take was everyone sees her at the edge, and they see that she has it, right?
Oh, okay.
And then she drops it, and it's like, come on, you crazy lady, you could have helped out your granddaughter.
Yeah, I don't know why anybody would drop a massive diamond into the ocean. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, she could have helped out her descendants. That
Not even believable. You can
was
donate
worth
that shit,
something.
right?
Is that it?
Is that the heart of the ocean right there?
Is that the heart of the ocean?
That's not the only treasure. That's not the only treasure I dived down there to get.
Yes. Wow.
Wait, Kira.
He's trying to bring the porn bots back.
I know, porn bots.
Hold on. In other words, Rose looks like a nice thick
A nice
snack.
thick snack. It was a nice thick snack.
Yeah, Rose, I got it. I got it safe here. Stupid old woman.
Stupid old lady. Don't throw diamonds into the ocean. Give
Putting
it
all
to
those people
me.
through, very, very, very valuable treasure here. I mean, this is an important artifact. It belongs in a museum.
What a fucking bitch, am I right?
It belongs in a museum.
I had the wrong hat on for that. I too many costume changes
Indiana
tonight.
Jones
That's
hat
right.
on.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Extra bullets go like, yo, them titties.
Now that I was gonna say now the tit bots. Now the sex bots are really gonna come.
Yo, sex bots. Are you so desperate to hook us up with love?
Oh my goodness. Oh no. Yes, Jimmy. Yes, Jimmy, I have it here. In case you wish to model it sometime, just let me know.
There you go.
After seeing that picture, my wood is finally shipshape.
All right. Anyway, moving on. I guess we covered enough of the H.H. Holmes story. And, if anybody wants to learn more about that really, really creepy, ooky, spooky, real life horror story here in Chicago, the links are in the show notes. You can find a lot of articles online, a lot of interesting documentaries that will really complete the mood for your Halloween celebrating this weekend. We only have a few other things to cover real quick. I do want to get towards the end of the show because Kira, do you have a what's the word?
I don't have as much of a hard out.
Okay.
If you know what I mean.
That's what she said.
Hey, keep it family friendly, guys.
What do they call that? There I am forgetting a word again. What do they when you have to be home on time? Curfew. You don't have an early curfew. That's what it is. No, I'm forgetting all this important words that if I was Harold Washington, they would not escape me as fast as they escaped Mr. Vassilatos. All right, but we have a really cool story of an event coming up this Sunday. Actually, Ed, can you buy me some time here while I get some links up here?
Why, certainly, Jerry. You know what? If you head over to the 99perspectives.tv/Chicago Corner, you too can download a copy of the most popular Halloween mask that will ever exist right now, the Cabello clone mask.
It is limited.
It will be up there for a limited time because we'll probably update that after Halloween. But while you can download your own copy of the Kit Cabello cologne mask and cut out the holes for your eyes so you can see, tape on a rubber band or something so you can wrap around your head and you can run around and scare all the children.
Terrifying.
Please, everyone, use that mask sparingly.
Just make sure, you got to tell them. You're like, have you seen my succulent Chinese meal?
My succulent Chinese meal, which I'm looking
yes.
forward to getting myself tonight if there are any Chinese places open afterwards.
They could be.
I couldn't shake the idea of getting a succulent
Eating
Chinese
sounds
meal.
like a good idea.
Yeah. All right. So, I've always wanted to be able to do this, so I'm going to go ahead and announce it before I play the video. Sunday!
Doing? You can't park there. Talk to the hand.
Where did we get all this beer from?
The Avondalian gave it to me. Gave me a sweet deal.
All right. Look. We all know that last match was fixed. I have the mud here, and I'm sending it off to be tested. We're going to prove this is fake mud, and that the title, the belt, is actually mine.
Shut up.
You are fake news, and my title was stolen. My title was stolen from me, and I'm getting it back.
Why aren't you trying to get it back?
I'm sending this off to be tested, okay? You and your fake news. We're going to get the mud. We're going to get the mud tested.
Who the fuck makes fake mud?
Does that look like mud to you?
It's fucking mud. It's fucking mud.
Our mud is real and it's fantastic. You mud queens need to keep it down.
What? Do you hear this?
What is this bitch saying?
You mud queens need to shut up.
Excuse me.
I'm trying to work on spells over here and you're making a racket.
Come on now.
Excuse me. I'm talking about my mud here. Fake news mud, very important.
I don't give a shit about your fake mud. In fact, I'm going to curse your mud and turn it into blood.
What the fuck? My test! It's blood! It's blood! My test! My test? What is this? It's blood!
Oh, that's definitely blood.
It's
That's definitely
blood! I hope this shit doesn't stain.
This is fucking gross.
Here, maybe a little PBR will wash it off.
You guys! She changed all of it. She changed all of the mud. This is all of the mud. She changed it all.
No!
Dude, what are we gonna do?
What are we gonna wrestle in?
I don't know.
We're gonna wrestle in this fucking blood is what we're gonna do.
Hell yes. Well, wait. You know what? There needs to be a hero.
Sunday. It's the Blood Wrestling Debauchery. Spooky Sunday, October 30th. It's a spree event. The Mud Queens are getting messy all over town with a rainbow of bombastic characters and a raucous backing band. They put on a mud wrestling show unlike any other. This year, for Halloween, they will be throwing down in a pit of blood on the SV patio. Where did they get all that blood? Special dance appearances by the Lakeshore Dames between matches.
Ooh.
Conceived at the brink of the roaring 2020s, the Lakeshore Dames, LSD, are your neighborhood gals who share a passion for dancing and unconditional love for music of all kinds. Catch the spine-tingling performance by the Lakeshore Dames, become encaptured by their voodoo doll dance moves. This is happening where, Kira?
This is at Sleeping Village, at the 3700 block of Belmont.
3734 West Belmont. I've got it. I see the address here now. Yeah.
I was like, I don't remember the address. I know it's on Belmont. Yes, I will be there. I will not be wrestling because it's not a full show. I will be the card girl. So I will be on stage the entire time. Yeah, and I'll be dressed as my character, Brownie Bruiser. Helping call matches and adding to the general debauchery of the show.
Well, Brownie Bruiser was the hero that was needed because obviously she would have taught the Scarlet Witch a thing or two about turning the mud into blood.
No, Jimmy, I'm a wrestler. I am not a dancer. Although I do dance, and I dance really well. I don't do choreographed dancing right now, but I do wrestle, and I kick the shit out of bitches. Pretty hardcore. I will go on the record and say I think that I'm the most feared wrestler in the league.
Good.
And you won the last competition. You won the last match.
I always win. I don't ever lose.
And this isn't a kayfabe. You really always win.
Serious. I really always win. I just always
That's
win.
cool.
Period.
That's right. That's right.
Yes, we have evidence of that.
Yeah, I think Ed has some video of the last wrestling match that happened at the tail end
here's
of
a little
August.
taste.
That's right.
The Mud Queens also have a Facebook page.
That's me right there on the header. Yeah. So
you know, I was.
I don't think extra.
You say that. You say that like it's possibly a bad thing. Ooh.
Yeah, no, my titties are all over the internet if you look for it. That's just a fact of the matter.
I said when we had a back show meeting several weeks back when we were talking about making sure to share this event this Sunday. I think you guys have got to figure out a way to get Ed involved in the Mud Queen wrestling activities. I proposed. I think he would be a perfect candidate to participate like John Candy did in that scene in Stripes with Bill Murray at the bar with the mud wrestling. But Ed kind of pulled it back and said he'd be just as happy just ring commenting or announcing. So,
yeah, I mean, I can make just about anything happen. I've been part of the Mud Queens for since 2009. So it's been a long time. Actually, I'd be happy to share our last. It wasn't our last blood wrestling event. I can't even fucking remember because it had been so long since we wrestled until the August show that you came to, Ed. But let me see if I can share some of these photos. You definitely, I mean, it's a fun show. It is a very fun show. So you don't want to miss out. So this is me and Jane Wayne Gacy.
Jane Wayne Gacy. Love it.
Yeah. And that is not me. I'm trying to find. Oh, there's me. There's me as Brownie Bruiser. There's me.
Are you
right
sharing
there.
photos? I'm not seeing.
Oh shit!
Yeah, they're not popping up.
Let's get them in the stream here.
Let me do that. There we go. So that's me right there. the end of a match, I think. Starting a match right here. And then I'll get to the Jane Wayne Gacy photograph right there. So we all go as all kinds of different characters. And, you know, some of us are kind of like the good guys. Some of us are the bad guys.
Brownie Bruiser's the best, though. The good
Brownie
guy.
Bruiser is the all-American good guy. So that's me.
Very awesome. What is Harold doing there? Was he muddled? Wait, what's this all about? I was never out there. Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah. It's like Harold Washington shaking hands with Kira. Like, whoa, Kira, you time traveled as a little kid?
Someone had tagged me in something a long time ago. So, yep.
So, once again, Mud Queens, Sunday, October 30th.
I want to protect my reputation. Not that there's anything wrong with mud wrestling, but I want to let people know that I was very dedicated to my fiance. Even though I was known as a ladies' man, I was never involved in these proclivities of mud or blood wrestling anywhere in the city of Chicago. I was too busy managing and reforming the city council.
That's true. So Sunday, October 30th, noon to 5 at Sleeping Village, 3734 West Belmont.
Come see us live. And the joke about who the fuck would make fake mud? We make fake mud.
Fake news.
That's particularly funny line in the
I want to ask how many people noticed in the opening show. Did you notice the bug in the corner that it changed?
What? The bug in the corner.
The Chicago
graphic.
The Chicago corner tag in the corner.
It did. No.
Oh, Cabello corner.
You didn't notice that?
Hey.
From the beginning of the show, when we were all on, in the elevator scene where you saw the Kit clones, you saw Chicago corner morph into Cabello corner. Just one of those little Easter egg details I included.
Oh my goodness!
Beautiful, Jerry.
Ah.
All right, so I have a follow-up story that I want to share from last Halloween, and I'm going to add this to the chat. I find this story fascinating, and it's one that I really want to find out if there's something to it. Okay, now, Chicago Sun-Times reports October 18th, a week ago, the real Mothman, or merely a Halloween costume, a spooky Chicago icon, makes an appearance. Can we count this as a Mothman sighting? A spooky sighting over the weekend has reignited some interest in a Chicago urban legend that wreaked havoc on the internet over the last decade. The Mothman legend, after decades of random alleged sightings around the country, picked up steam in the Chicago area in 2011 when reports of a giant flying winged humanoid began surfacing. WBEZ, wait a minute, let me repeat that again. There were rumors of a flying winged humanoid appearing all over the city. And of course, I can't find the clip fast enough to have punctuated that with something funny.
Oh, it's all right.
I am just not fast enough. Oh, there we go.
Well, here I am.
Not Batman, as many of us wish, protecting the good citizens of the city of Chicago. So WBZ tried unsuccessfully to track down the mystery of the Mothman back in 2019. They did, however, break it down with a case file of the legend. You can learn more about it on the history of the Mothman here. It's linked in the show notes. The Brood, a horror-themed coffee shop in Avondale, hosted a Halloween event over the weekend. One attendee appeared to be dressed as the Mothman, completing the look with a trademark glowing red eyes. Either that or it's the real Mothman. A tweet later on in the evening confirmed a spotting out in the wild, though we cannot confirm whether it was the same one. Chicago, the Mothman is real, and I know it because I yelled, "Are you the Mothman?" from across the street, and they yelled back, "Yes," and then disappeared into the night. Tweeted Nina Corcora. And we even have some sightings here on Twitter. If the screen will start to scroll upward, please, please, please. There we go. I mean, come on. If that isn't proof right there that the Mothman exists. In WBZ's past coverage, some of the Mothman's behaviors are described as screaming, flying towards the lake, disappearing, going really fast, portenting looking at people with eyeballs. And in this tweet posted Saturday, a new behavior posing for pictures with fans. Isn't that sweet? He is now people's favorite local celebrity. Where did it come from? Will it strike again in another Chicago neighborhood this spooky season? Only time will tell. But, now seriously, look at this map. These are all the Mothman sightings across the city of Chicago from, where are my glasses here? A long time. I'm looking for a date on this. But it's like bat-like object witnessed, winged humanoids, Chicago Owlman, Mothman. There have been books written about this. So I'm just like,
wow.
My suspicion, here's my suspicion. I think it might be an oversized, what they call flying fox, which is a species of bat that can get really, really, really large, but it doesn't really look, you wouldn't know it's a bat, but it's a species that I think comes from South America. So I'm wondering if some may have migrated north from South America, and that's this phenomenon that we're seeing.
I think what we're seeing is something similar to that. It could be like one of those giant bats, right? Because again, you have stupid people who buy exotic pets thinking that they can take care of them, and then that they realize that they can't, and they let it out in the environment because they think, oh, well, who's going to notice? Because there's a lot of dumb people out there. And of course, that could potentially raise a population, potentially, like I said, potentially. Or number two, what you have is people maybe having a collective psychosis to where that
could be a thing.
Yeah, we're okay. They see something, they can't explain it. They look up a little bit more about it, and they're like, oh, there's this thing called the Mothman. And then they somehow twist their story into saying, yeah, I saw something that looked just like that.
Well, here I am.
Oh, I think I've got some breaking news here.
Or it could be
guys.
Extra Bulla, who says, in the Flying Fox is what they called me in the 1970s.
Hey.
What's the breaking news, Ed?
I've got some breaking news here. Okay, that's enough of that. Yeah, breaking news on the Mothman story. We have somebody has seen the Mothman 5 days ago at a skate park, and they caught this late-breaking footage.
Yeah.
Mothman falls down too. He's just like us.
So let's see that again.
Well, apparently, Mothman told this person named Liz Skates Chicago that it's okay to put his video on her Instagram or Facebook page or YouTube short. So Liz Skates in Chicago, we would like to do an exclusive interview with you and what it was like working in collaboration with the Mothman, because I doubt it's her in a costume. I mean, come on.
Doubtful.
Who buys a costume? Who buys a costume?
Who wears costumes? Nobody.
Nobody.
Wait till you guys see what I got planned for tomorrow night as we talk about weekend festivities across the city. Also kind of on that note, speaking of other cool breaking news, Henry Cavill is back as Superman, and rumor has it Ben Affleck is signed for more Batman films now that leadership at Warner Brothers has changed. So on the movie front, I can't be happier to see the return of, I think, the best contemporary actors to play those roles, and I'm looking forward to see what Warner Brothers has in store. I also saw Black Adam last night. I was like bored at home, so I'm like, fuck, I don't want to stay home. There's nothing I wanted to see on Netflix, so I went to the 10 o'clock show.
How was it?
Didn't really have any high expectations because I think The Rock, as much as I've been entertained by him in the past, his whole, the hierarchy in the DC universe is about to change because he's a wannabe, Superman. It kind of put me off. His narcissism puts me off as much as I think he's charismatic.
His narcissism came through in the film?
No, in real life.
In real life. Oh, okay.
Me off from seeing it. Because he always plays the same character in these movies. He's playing himself, a reversion.
It's like a character actor, right? Is that what that's called? Where it's just like basically
like Tom Cruise normally does.
Yeah, like a little prototype. Yeah, you need a big jacked dude.
Yeah,
to get The Rock. Yeah.
Well, here's my it wasn't bad. I would give it 3 stars. It's not a movie I woke up this morning and remembered, I got to go see it again. But I will say, he did work his range as an actor. He wasn't playing himself. It was a pretty decent superhero movie, and I was going in expecting it was just going to be nonsense. The script had some problems as far as continuity exists within the DC universe over at Warner Brothers, and it's already been spoiled on social media. Henry Cavill makes a mid-credit appearance at the end as Superman, which means he's back. But I'm like, the tone of it kind of fits what's preceded with what Snyder did with the Justice League movies. This tone, Ed, we've talked about this, the tone of Black Adam, I don't know how the fuck they're going to dovetail it with Shazam. Okay. Mm-hmm. I didn't like the first Shazam. I saw the trailer for the new Shazam before this movie. It looks like it's going to be another Thor Love and Thunder. It just looks like dog shit to me. And I think Captain Marvel was a cool character. I don't like the way that they've decided to, what's the word? How they interpreted him in a modern day incarnation in the films. I mean, in the old comic books, Captain Marvel didn't have the personality of a kid when Billy Batson became Captain Marvel. But I think the trouble DC is going to have in Warner Brothers is this is a pretty serious, straightforward superhero movie. The Rock, as Black Adam suffered no fools. So it's how are you going to fit that tone with the goofy family comedy tone of the Shazam movies? It's going to be a challenge. I just sense it's going to be really problematic.
Yeah, I think that they kind of struggled with that when they started animating the Captain Marvel Shazam character in the 90s and the early 2000s because of how they basically changed the character from the early incarnations, where basically he looks like an adult, but he's acting just like Billy Batson would. Only he's
there
an
are
adult.
no beautiful girls.
Yeah, and that's problematic when you're creating a tone within a shared universe. At least the Marvel movies, like them or not, they can be comedic, they can be serious, but they always seem to be able to fit together and not go too far one way or the other. Shazam movie is just too much comedy. And it's great. It's for a family audience. It's for kids, but he exists in the universe that Warner Brothers is trying to build out, whether racing to catch up with Marvel, this shared universe. Well,
I think they're just going to have to find a creative way to transition the two things. I mean, you're obviously going to have some kind of contrast there between the different sensibilities, and at some point, it's just going to be, I gotta get a little more serious as Captain Marvel because this guy is crazy out of his mind and he's super serious and he's dealing with the same superpowers I got, or maybe he's more strong. I haven't seen the movie. I don't know.
I'll be curious your take on it. Yeah. I'll be curious your take on it, Ed, because he's an anti-hero, and without spoiling anything, I liked what they did establishing and presenting Black Adam as a superhero for the Middle East. And there was some commentary there that I thought was actually pretty scathing about how, the Middle East is constantly exploited by Western influences, and how his character, Black Adam, is basically there to stand up for the people whose resources are constantly plundered. So I really appreciated it. Wasn't hitting me over the head, but I thought it was a nice commentary on, sadly, how a lot of people regard the Middle Eastern regions that, American hegemony. Am I pronouncing that word correctly?
Hegemony.
Constantly. Close enough. I'll let you guys pronounce. That's a word that I cannot pronounce, even when I do my Harold Washington.
But there is something too that I would like to mention, even though it's a Halloween show. Apparently, there are beautiful girls here because our second.
Yeah, I saw that.
I see no beautiful girls here. I don't know what the fuck they're talking about.
I see one hiding as a clone in plain sight, and I've got my investigative journalist hat on, so I know what I'm looking at. All right, what do you guys? What do we all have
Cabello clone?
What do we all got planned for Halloween? I want to hear. I want to share what's happening across the city, and let me share what's happening. Then let's talk about what we're all doing. So, this comes from Block Club Chicago. If you haven't already made plans, via Colin Boyle, Haunted Chicago. Here's some of our favorite neighborhood Halloween decorations. Check out how Chicagoans have decked out homes across the city for Halloween. Actually, this isn't so much about events, although I do have one event to share after this article. Yeah, let's just take a fun look down our neighborhoods. Very creative Chicago.
I love Halloween decorations. They're the best.
Chicagoans have transformed their yards into Halloween scenes ahead of the holiday, and Block Club Chicago reporters set out to capture the best displays. A tunnel of terror in Albany Park, expressive skeletons drinking martinis in Wicker Park, and a towering ofrenda in Pilsen are just some of the elaborate displays delighting neighbors this spooky season. Here are some of the best blocks you will see this Halloween. I'll briefly scroll through our slideshow here. Party on the lawn. And it's expensive to do these displays. I was walking through a Home Depot a month ago. Of course, all the Halloween stuff was already out. Like, you want to buy one of these plastic skeletons, you're talking about $150.
Too much money, man.
It is
too much money. I love
of-
Halloween, but I cannot put that much money in decorations. I just don't have it in me.
That's too much money.
Here's my trick though. After the 31st, fire sale prices. Buy stuff that's like pennies on the dollar. Stock.
Yeah, but all the good stuff is kind of like sold out at that time.
Well, yes and no, because some of the stuff is so expensive, Kit, that some people don't like stockpile all the expensive stuff. And I give a lot of credit to those that decide to put some investment. I did a Halloween display one year. I had the Joker hanging from the front of my building like the Dark Knight, and I had a bat, of course, me.
Okay.
I had Batman up on the roof. I wish I had the pictures here to share, but I had a strobe light on, and it was right around the time the Dark Knight had come out, and the kids in the neighborhood loved it. And then I had creepy Jack Nicholson Joker in the window. But it's fun when you put some effort into it and find a theme that goes with, whether it's a spooky movie Halloween theme or just skeleton spooks and goblins, as we're seeing in these pictures from across the city.
Yeah, that's great.
Oh, wow.
Cemetery in the front lawn. A scarecrow and ghosts.
Looks pretty good.
Nice stuff.
Yeah.
Great efforts.
Good all around. And the giant skeletons, too.
So you can find the link to the Block Club Chicago article in our show description below, if you're so inclined to wander. I mean, look, throw a stone on your block and you'll probably find a cool Halloween display. But I think that there are some walking tours taking place throughout the city. Or I think that they're on Block Club Chicago. There are a couple of the articles linked in regards to actual organized walking tours that go through the neighborhoods to pick out all the really cool curated homes that everyone's keeping track of.
Nice.
Nice.
So, what are you guys all doing this weekend? Anybody got or through when? Halloween, I think, is Monday or Tuesday?
Halloween's Monday. What I always do is I get myself, well, obviously I'll be hosting Hardlands Media at 4 p.m. But after the show's done, what I usually do is set up to watch some horror movies. I cook myself a nice ribeye steak, the big ones that you get at Costco, a nice ribeye steak, a good sweet potato.
Whoa. No succulent Chinese meal for you?
No.
That's his clone.
That's right.
That's right. The original kit's having a nice steak dinner, ribeye, sweet potato, vegetables, grilled, cooked, right? A shot of Japanese whiskey and a nice glass of red wine to wash it all down. That's and I might light it up a little bit too. So there you go.
I'm sure that the woman who's living in the house that you've currently hijacked, Kira Maclone, has a little girl that she's going to be taking trick or treating. Is that part of the joke?
First time, yeah. So she'll be trick or treating for the first time. Well, last year she was
still a baby.
Gosh, not even a year old. She was just a little baby. And last year we went as Princess Buttercup, Wesley, and a rodent of unusual size. And she was the rodent of unusual size. And she's just obsessed with cats, So we decided we'll just dress her up as a cat, and we're all going as cats. But I got these little cat ears that are barrettes, but she hates having things in her hair. So I decided that if she refuses to do the barrettes, although she might be so excited she's a cat, it won't matter. But if she refuses to do that, I'll just dress her up as the mouse from last year, the rodent of unusual size, and
you guys will be the cats.
And we'll be the cats, and she would be the little mouse. So
okay,
yeah. So it should be very, very, very fun. Last year, we had so many trick-or-treaters that we had to go out and get more candy, and then we ran out, and all the stores around us ran out of candy. So it was really sad. We had to turn trick-or-treaters away by the end of the night. So there's a lot of action over at the Maclone house. And so, yeah. And then, of course, on Sunday, I will be at the Blood Wrestling show in Sleeping Village. I will be the card girl there. So come and see me. Oh, style her hair to look like ears. Yeah, I could do that too, actually.
Speaking of cat costumes, maybe someday she'll follow in Mom's footsteps and do one of these.
Yeah, possibly. Well, I mean, she'd make me very proud.
There you go.
She'd make me very proud. So, yeah.
Ed, you got any plans coming up this weekend?
What am I doing this weekend? Probably going to see what Svenguli's doing on Saturday night, as usual. I'll be live tweeting on there. So hashtag Svenguli is always a fun thing to check out if you do the Twitter thing. I don't know if I'm going to make a pizza because I just had a pizza. But Monday night, I don't know what's happening Monday night.
Well, Monday is the day that the kids actually go out and do the trick-or-treating. All of the festivities, though, take place over the weekend, probably starting tonight and especially into tomorrow. So I regularly attend, aside from the pandemic years, the Haunted Halloween Ball down at the Congress Hotel. It is one of the biggest costume parties in the city, and what's really cool about it is being able to see hey, there's Kira's co-producer. Seeing the creativity and imagination on display from everybody that attends the Haunted Halloween Ball at the Congress. Now, tickets were $50 Monday. They have been going up through the week. I grabbed mine at $65. And, I have had this on a mannequin now since 2020, brand new, unable to use it. I am not missing another Halloween party because of any pandemics this year. I am so thrilled and excited to be able to throw this on. I've never worn it.
Nice.
It's the probably most authentic costume I've ever been able to add to my collection, and it's going to be fun. I have a couple friends who are also going to be going. One of them is dressing as Poison Ivy, and I didn't even ask her to. She just decided that she wanted to be. So we'll get some pictures to share on social media. But I would recommend that if people are looking for a really cool party to go to, there's a lot all over the city. But the Haunted Halloween Ball, there's a contest. The Congress Hotel is just full of people showing off their creativity and stuff. Now, I also see in the live chat here, don't forget that the Halloween weekend continues tonight at midnight Eastern. Come by for the Extra Bowl of Secret show with him and Miss Jimmy. I'm going to tune into that.
Ooh, nice. That's right.
Sounds like a lot of fun.
Midnight Eastern, 11 Central.
Yeah, so an hour from now.
Eleanor says, chips, dip chains, and whips. I'm good this weekend. Good to know. Good to know you'll be in good hands. Looking in the live chat, let's see what else is going on. Looks like we covered everything. I saw Kathy had to jump out early, but we had a really fun show tonight. I was very, very pleased to see how much activity we had in the live chat. A lot of people visiting tonight for our very, very special Halloween episode of 2022.
Make sure you like the show, everybody.
And always make sure to share, subscribe, and like our show. I mean, look, everybody who's already in the live chat, I know they have, but just go ahead and take that extra step to share our links on social media. I want to thank everybody for participating tonight, especially Mr. Cabello. You were a good sport. I was
love it.
Very nervous, man. Kira, what did I ask you before we planned this?
He asked me if you might be like hurt or offended if we did this, and I was like,
we weren't making fun of you. This was not making fun. We were.
If
look,
anything, he'll be flattered.
No, I'm actually surprised that we decided to push on the mythos of the facility that for some reason is not locking down my goddamn clones. If anything, I'm furious at the administrative staff for letting all these clones out.
Yeah, well, you know what happened there is that it's not just one facility, and so that when they started doing the experimental test facilities, they didn't have the strict standards of the original facility of Project Kit Phoenix, and so
corners were cut,
Yes,
so to speak.
Unfortunately, corners were cut. But I do want to share something, though, a Halloween quote before we wrap things up. Nature has a way of sometimes of reminding man just how small he is. She occasionally throws up terrible offsprings of our pride and carelessness to remind us of how puny we really are in the face of a tornado, an earthquake, or a Godzilla. The reckless ambitions of man are often dwarfed by their dangerous consequences. For now, Godzilla, that strangely innocent and tragic monster, has gone to the earth. Whether he remains or not, or is never again seen by human eyes, the things he has taught us remain.
And with that being said, look, we're all characters in our own right. I'm sure I'm going to get it someday. There's probably stuff that people can, take from my character, and I was afraid I was going to go to hell for proposing.
That's why you remain as milk toast as possible.
Yeah, no, kid, we love you, and look, you're a personality. You have a very big personality. The best
I love it. This is
have
a wonderful
great stuff that you can, whether it's our very, very revered mayor, the late great Harold Washington, or Mr. Kit Cabello, who is going to go out and enjoy a succulent Chinese meal tonight. Bigger than life characters are what entertain us and who we love. So I'm glad that I was thinking this is like more of a roast than anything else. I'm glad you took it in the right spirit.
Yeah. And I think I did a damn good job. I'm not saying anything.
You did a great, I mean, look at Kira's commitment through the So Oreo started like eating this when it was on the table.
Oh no!
And I can't. That wig just the hair. I mean, I give you a lot of credit for being able to stay cool in it.
Flowing hair.
Yeah, I have dressed in many, many costumes in my life, so I'm very used to like the discomfort of actually having this stuff on. But man, I don't know if like having a beard actually feels this way, but I don't know how y'all deal with it. I will say I am a strapping, handsome man.
You are.
What I like to say is, Kira Maclone, this might be the last time I see you, but you look like a nice thick snack.
I'm a nice thick snack.
Listen, guys, thanks for joining me tonight and sharing Halloween with me. I want to, as always, I've got such a great team of colleagues here at Chicago Corner and Hardlands Media, and it's always a lot of fun doing this and being able to get everybody together, especially for the holiday episodes. So I want to thank all of you for joining us tonight and spending 2.5 hours with us for our special 2022 Halloween extravaganza. I hope we made it all worth your while. As we go into the weekend, please remember to stay safe, be careful, watch out for each other, be vigilant, and remember, if it's happening on the streets, you'll hear about it here on Chicago Corner. Some parting words of warning from Vince Clortho, Keymaster of Gozer. We will see you next Tuesday when Kira Maclone or the woman whose home she hijacked, McCown, will be anchoring the show. I will be back. We'll also be back next Friday. Watch throughout the week as we drop clip segments from the show to enjoy. And please stay safe, Chicago.
I am Vince Clortho, Keymaster of Gozer. Volka Sildro, our Lord of the Cebulia. Are you the gatekeeper?
Hey, he pulls the wagon. I make the deals. You want to ride?
Wait for the sign, and all prisoners will be released. You will perish in flames! You and I will
What an asshole.
Get out. And don't come back until you've redeemed yourselves.
You're still here? It's over. Go home. Go.